Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Reds here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to do a fan-led perfect offseason. A lot of times, I like to do shows up here on this program where I map out, all right, this is how I want the Raiders mock draft to go. This is how I would like for the Raiders offseason to go, free agency, targets, all that type of good stuff. I really, truly believe that Raider Nation showed this past year that we as a fan base are smarter than what Pete Carroll and that regime did as a coaching staff. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think it's a crazy take at all. So today, we're going to go through and we're going to try to map out what the perfect Raiders offseason is. But when I say we, I mean you. I have no influence on this. Chugs has no influence on it. It's all going to be up to the people that are watching today's show. If you want to get in our duck race, we're going to do a duck race. Though, I don't know how much the duck race is going to be. And then I'm going to give you guys a deal for happy hour. During the offseason, Thursdays are usually Raiders Report happy hour. So, I'll tell you what the deal is. I want to go through our normal Raiders content today. Obviously, we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson. Though if you saw the video that I just put out, I kind of give you everything you need to know around Lamar. We're going to talk about Fernando. We're going to talk about head coaches, OC, anything you want to discuss today on today's program, we will discuss it on this show. Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. But one of the things I want to do a better job of as I grow up and, get older and older and older, I want people to know that I'm here to provide Raiders content. And then if y'all want to party, you want to throw back a few beers, my wife is working tonight. I got nothing to do. I'm off tomorrow. So I will give you guys a deal if you want Raiders happy hour for the final hour of today's show. Let's go with the question, though, because I would say right now, the top three coaches that are circulating around the Raiders, you might be able to argue Davis Webb on top of that, but around the NFL and around the Raiders, if you had to pick between these coaches here, Clint Kubiak, Mike LaFleur, Jesse Minter, or if you want to type your O for other, you're more than welcome to. If you could pick the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, what route would you decide to go with? And I bring this up simply because this is going to be what we do today. Essentially, I'm going to ask y'all, who do you want to hire? And depending on how the votes come in, depending on how the comments come in, depending on how the poll goes, depending on how the Super Chats and Venmos flow in, will ultimately determine who the Raiders' next head coach will be. And I have done shows like this in the past. They've been a little bit more for mock drafts. And since y'all have been showing up and showing out, I decided to go live today, which, again, I didn't know if I was going to go live today. But at the end of the day, my job here is to make sure that you guys have a good time, that you're staying informed, and I am seeing nothing. And I mean nothing. But, there's a JM down there below for Mr. Minter. Clint Kubiak, Jesse Minter, Mike LaFleur. You guys can let me know who you want to be the next Raiders head coach. And we're going to do a lot of things today. I'm going to put the ball in y'all's court a bunch today. I hope that you're not upset about that, and I think it's kind of a different way to do this show because, again, I ask you guys a lot of questions, but if there are certain questions you have for me, it's hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line. If you end up getting a vote in, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a little bit. Don't also be afraid to get a vote in and also be able to hit me with a question on top of that. But shout out to Mamba, shout out to Chris Bowen, shout out to Justin Black. I see Jason, Trippy, Trappa, all of y'all here on the Raiders Report. Also, Chug said he has the live poll up if you guys want to go ahead and get your votes in. If I go to vote, and where I would say the number one fantasy sports app is out there, it's easily Prize Picks. And you guys already know. I talk about Prize Picks all the time on this program, and it's because they show up and show out for me. I'm going to show up and show out for them. And if you guys want to get started with the big game, because it's almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. My wife was never really a big fan of watching football, wasn't a fan of fantasy football. And if you miss fantasy football and if you miss watching games with your wife, then definitely get started with Prize Picks, because my wife is the ultimate proof that if you put in a lineup, you tell her to root for more or less on a certain player, she's going to be locked in on it. Maybe your kid's going to be locked in on it, and then it gives you that excuse to watch a little bit of football. Now, my personal lineup that I got for the Broncos and Patriots game, it's up on screen. And if you like this lineup, you want to roll with me, if you want to tail me, well, guess what? You can follow me on Prize Picks at MitchellRenz365. It's available in all 50 states. It's super fun, super simple, and again, you got that opportunity to put some money in your pocket. So download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS to be able to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's go to some super chats here. I should also say there was a few people on my show that I did on Tuesday. I don't know why. The Ducks in the duck race, they took a while to load. So we're going to do a $20 Venmo duck race today. I just wanted to let y'all know. And I just wanted to already say from the jump, Justine Gonzalez, Gabriel Ruiz 3 times. I know, Gabriel, you were asking me if I got it. I swear to you, I did not get it. And then like an hour later, I got Justine Gonzalez, 3 of Gabriel's, and then 1 from Steve Dell. So all ready to start off today's show. We got 5 people in the duck race. So if you want a chance to win some money, right now it's up to $50 here on the Raiders Report. You think there's a way to get Lamar Jackson and draft 15? No. I also think that that's the definition of idiotic to do both of those things. I'm not saying that that's what you wanted to do, but if you're the Raiders, if you go out and you trade for Lamar Jackson, you better still have that number 1 overall pick. Because trading number 1 straight up for Lamar, I actually don't think is a win for the Raiders. I think it's a win for Baltimore. If you trade for Lamar, you better still have that number 1 overall pick. You trade number 1 back, you try to get even more, and you try to build around Jackson. But again, I do not think the Raiders are going to trade for Lamar Jackson. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza. What up, M. Reezy? Is there any way to take Bain and Mendoza? Nope. Probably the only way possible is if you and me and everybody here offer up their left nut. And I ain't going to do that. Crosby. I mean, again, dude, like there's simply no way. There's no way, because we don't have a first-round pick this year. Like, if you were willing to trade away Max Crosby, that's the only way that there's even a potential of Mendoza and Bain, because I think it's going to be pick number 1, Mendoza, pick number 2, Ruben Bain. Let's go to Jim Thorkill. Mitch, I don't want Lamar. He's getting old. He's breaking down. And even though he's a 2-time MVP, his team hasn't won squat. I'm not going to disagree that they haven't won. I will also say when you're in the AFC, we know it as well, right? Like Lamar's going up against Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, going up against a lot of really talented quarterbacks on that AFC side. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Like, there were a lot of really, really good quarterbacks. Joe Burrow. I don't think Manning really had ever crossover. So, but like a lot of really talented AFC quarterbacks. And I also don't think you can only put it on Lamar. Like, go back and you look at 2024 playoffs. Mark Andrews literally dropped the wide open touchdown. But you're right. He has been battling some injuries. And I hear you loud and clear. Like, I at this point for people, I want people to understand. I am Team Fernando Mendoza. I want the Raiders to draft Mendoza. But if you think I'm going to be upset about us getting a 2-time NFL MVP and Lamar Jackson, I also think you're crazy for being upset about it. I really think Raiders fans should be like, wow, we're either going to have Mendoza or we're going to get Lamar Jackson. It's the greatest quarterback issue maybe of all time. Like, we are in a great, great situation here to get our next quarterback. What up, Motorcycle Prophet? Been a fan since 1980. This is the first offseason in a real long time that I have really been psyched about. So I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of tell you guys about how today's show is ultimately going to end up going down. So in my mind, I have kind of mapped out how I think a perfect Raiders offseason is going to go. And based on that, because I agree with you, Motorcycle Prophet, I'm stoked about this offseason. We got the number 1 overall draft pick. Just make sure it's reveal if you can. No, I want it to be reveal. So essentially what I have for you guys is like, this is what it's going to look like, okay? So it's going to be like head coach. Then we're going to figure out this together. Then we're going to figure out this together. Then this, and then guess what? There's 5 more on things on top of that. So in a sense, I'm looking at this as like a 10-step plan for the perfect Raiders offseason. Now, as we're going through debating who should be the head coach, if you guys want to get your questions in around who that next head coach is going to be, I would greatly appreciate it. But around each topic, I am going to give us 5 minutes of clock. Now, Chugs has already started the poll above of who you want to be the next Las Vegas Raiders head coach. And again, this show to me, we have the greatest community on the planet. You guys always watch this show and always hear my opinion. Well, now it's going to be your opportunity to put together your perfect Raiders offseason. And while the clock is ticking down, I'm still going to answer super chats. We're going to tell you all about the deals that we got going on today. It's going to be a very normal Raiders Report show, but all the power is truly in your hands. So shout out to the people that are tuning in right now. We got 630 people here in the building. If you haven't already, please make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you enjoy today's live show content, well, I would like to be able to do more live shows like this. I just saw this one coming in from Arbor. Mitch, Diana Rossini is reporting Lamar wants Weaver and Cliff Kingsbury as the head coach and offensive coordinator. Does that impact Minter? I don't know if it impacts Minter. Also, is it a bad look for Tom Brady that he wasn't able to close last year on Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, and possibly Minter now? I don't really think that it does look bad, and the reason is Ben Johnson went to the place where he had a quarterback, and that, I mean, again, like the Raiders this year do have the opportunity to go get a QB. Mike Vrabel, he was going to take the New England job, and I think the Mike Vrabel job is very similar to Jesse Minter, more so than Ben Johnson, because if you guys remember, probably about a month ago, again, I make so many shows, I don't exactly remember when I say certain things, but I would like to say the very first person to report that the Las Vegas Raiders are interested in Jesse Minter. Then I also said on a show maybe a week or 2 weeks later, that the only job that would concern me from Minter not coming to the Raiders was the Baltimore Ravens. Then Baltimore ends up firing John Harbaugh, and just based on the way that everything is kind of unfolding here, I don't necessarily think it's the Raiders and Tom Brady losing. I think it's Jesse Minter honestly picking the better job. And, you know, if you're Minter, you're going to go to the organization that had a head coach from 2008 to 2025, a team that you've already been a part of, a regime that knows, like, if I'm Minter, I'm going, well, Harbaugh, I've worked under Harbaugh, I've had a lot of success with Harbaugh. Why not go to an organization that also had a lot of success with Harbaugh? And, yeah, maybe this is true that Diana's reporting this. Again, like, I'm not trying to throw Diana under the bus, but she has not been the most accurate, I would say, recently in terms of what she says ends up going down. There's still probably some validity to it because I do find it strange that Cliff Kingsbury left his job. He left his job with the Washington Commanders, and when you're a good OC and you just outright leave, you know, you're kind of wondering, is there another job out there? But to me, I do not really think it's going to impact Minter because based on everything we're hearing here at Chat Sports and based on everything that's being reported, I think it's literally only a matter of time before Jesse Minter is going to be the next head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. But, I mean, Weaver is a low-key, very, very, very interesting candidate, and he's the Dolphins DC. Jeff Hafley, yeah.
I was going to say, but Jeff Hafley, their new head coach, said he's calling plays on defense.
Yeah.
So you're Weaver. If somebody else offers you a DC job, like if the Raiders were to maybe get an offensive head coach, would Weaver be the best option to be the new DC?
That could be interesting, but I'll tell you this right now, that's a hell of a coaching staff. I hate to admit it, but that's
because I mean, if he's
that's
not
a hell of a coaching
if he's
staff.
going to get his play calling duties taken away, why would he stay in Miami? If there's another opportunity.
And I mean, he's been somebody that's getting a lot of looks around the NFL. He's a very well coveted defensive-minded coach. But Arbor, I appreciate you bringing this up, man. I really do. Reminder, y'all, if you want to get in our duck race, $20 Venmo, we're going to do it at the very, very end of today's show. And I don't really have many deals today. It's not really how I wanted to do today's program. I will tell you what it's going to take for me to stay live an extra hour and kind of go through and do a shit show. And I'll say this, if we end up doing happy hour, I will give away a Fernando Mendoza jersey today. So I want to be very clear on that. If we stay
T-shirt or jersey?
Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. If we end up getting to happy hour today, I am going to give away a Fernando Mendoza jersey, just so all of y'all know. But if you want a chance to win some money, here you go. Let's talk about the AFC Championship game. We're going to talk about the NFC Championship game, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of today's program, building a perfect offseason for the Las Vegas Raiders. I will be live, and I want to be able to tell all y'all that I am going to be live for this game. I'm going to go live probably 30 minutes before kickoff here. And yeah, I probably don't, it's probably not a crazy thing to say. This game's a kick in the nuts. I know you would definitely agree.
I mean,
definitely agree with that.
And a little chat sports behind the scenes. Me and Mitch sit in the same section.
Cubicle area
as the Broncos and Patriots hosts here at Chat Sports. And when I tell you things have gotten pretentious this week, there's been a lot of schedule, backup quarterback, your team sucks, your team shit, back and forth for the past 5 days.
Yeah. It's been nonstop, man. It's been there's at times where I'm like, the first thing I check before I leave work, I'm like, are my headphones fully charged?
It's
am I good?
It's like when you're at a friend's house and your friend's parents are fighting.
Yeah.
You're like,
honestly,
you're like, oh my God.
I just came over to play Xbox. Like, what exactly is happening here?
Like you said, there's no good answer on this.
It's not.
Personally, and Raider fans, y'all are going to absolutely hate this. I think it would be hilarious if the Patriots lost to another backup quarterback in the playoffs. That's just my personal bias. I hate the Patriots. I want them to lose.
See, my thing is I don't want either of these teams to win the Super Bowl. I will be rooting for the New England Patriots to beat the Denver Broncos. I will. I can't root for Denver. In my mind, I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't root for Denver. But then there is also that other part of me where I go, well, if the Broncos do end up winning, I think the Broncos with Jarrett Stidham is still a much worse team than anything on the NFC side. And kind of the way that I felt about the national championship game, where I really did feel the winner of Oregon-Indiana was going to be able to be the team that wins it all. Kind of like how I felt last week in that Texans and Patriots game, the winner of that game, I think is going to end up winning this game because Stidham's the backup. But then again, we'll see what Stidham looks like.
No, the Patriots have never lost to a backup quarterback in the playoffs.
Never, ever, ever. But Eric Talotson says, I've never, but Stidham, once a Raider, always a Raider. That's crazy, man.
I told our Broncos host, Moose, I said, if you want any hope, any semblance of, I think maybe we can do this, go back and watch Stidham whenever he started for the Raiders at the very end of that one season up against the 49ers.
It's the year when they benched D.C. That 49ers game, it was week 17. It's probably the best game that's ever been played at Allegiant Stadium. Stidham lost to the Niners 37-34. It was an unbelievable football game. I remember doing that watch party and being like, holy shit, Stidham out there is slinging the pill. But I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm seeing a lot of NEs down below. Bottom line is this. If you plan on watching this game and you want to hang out with me, I am going to be live on this channel. And again, I'm not saying this to make you guys watch it, but we're supposed to get a really bad ice snowstorm. I actually believe it's going to be me, and his name's Chip. The last time he was on this show, I don't even know. I know he was on for a few hours when the Raiders fired Josh McDaniels.
Oh, yeah.
You guys might not have – it's been a while since you've been on the show, been on the program.
I think Chip did the 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. shift.
Well, that's like right when he started, so he got the shit shift. Yeah. Because I remember there was a time where I was like, dude, Chip, I need to just go lay on the couch for like 5 minutes and close my eyes. And he was holding it down at like 5:30 in the morning. It was unbelievable. Let's go to the other game here in the NFC Championship game. Rams, Seahawks, NFC West. This one to me is a little bit easier in terms of who I'm going to root for. But again, I think the winner of this game is going to be Super Bowl champions. But the real reason why I can't wait to watch this game, Mike LaFleur and Clint Kubiak. Like, I want to see what our potential next head coach could look like. You can make the same argument for the Denver game. If frickin' Davis Webb, the quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, makes Bo Nix look really good, and then he comes out and makes Jarrett Stidham look really good, I mean, you got to be able to say, well, that's really, really interesting. But in terms of this game, do you care who wins this one? I know who I'm going with. I don't think I've actually ever asked you.
I've said a couple times on the show, my stepdad is cousins with Clint Kubiak. His dad is brothers with Gary Kubiak. So I'll root for the Seahawks just because it's in the family and possibly the next Raiders head coach in Clint. But yeah, I mean, if I don't have a dog in the fight, I don't like to be. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes I do like to be that asshole friend that roots against people.
Bro, you
but
do it all the time.
But since it's in the family, I'll go ahead and I'll root for my stepdad's cousin in the Seahawks.
Let's go. I mean, I'm definitely going to go with Seattle. I think the only bad part about it is if the Seahawks win, we got to wait a little bit longer on who we might hire as our next head coach.
That is a good point. A lot of people are saying F Devontae. Let's go
true.
Hawks.
All right, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, no, you're right. You guys, you're 100% right. I just saw Loyal Man says no ring for Devontae. Though I'm pretty sure Loyal Man also was the same guy that said Jarrett Stidham, once a Raider, always a Raider. Am I wrong in that?
No, Loyal Man. I think that's
Well, still, man, I'm Team F Devontae.
See, this is why I hate the new YouTube update because
I know you can't go back. Well, again, I recognize names, and it's still like the crazy @ symbols.
I think this is the guy who we think is looks like the guy from Jurassic Park.
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay, and I feel bad because I can't remember the username, but
no, I can look at the photo right now, and I guarantee you it is.
Raider Rob.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Raider Rob. Yep. Sorry, Rob.
I remembered you, and I remember the picture, but I couldn't remember the username because YouTube is whoever did the YouTube update sucks.
Yep. Yeah, you've never been on YouTube, clearly. All right, y'all. You guys ready to get this perfect off-season going? If you are, spam some me's down below, and I'll
try. You want to go through the super chats first and then do that, or?
Yeah, I think we'll just answer super chats while we're kind of going through because there's going to be some time on the clock. So while the time's going, I'll kind of illustrate to all of y'all how today's show is going to end up going down. I see a lot of me's, which is what exactly I want to see. Again, I wanted to try something a little bit different here. And I always give you guys my shows, so I thought today would be kind of a fun day to put the ball in y'all's court. Before I tell you how this show is exactly going to end up going down, I do want to tell you about one deal that I have. And I kind of already mentioned it a little bit. If we get through 2 steps today, we got 2 steps today, okay? If we get through 2 steps today, I am going to go live an additional hour. I'm going to crack some beers open. We're going to go old school Raiders Report happy hour style. The first way that you're going to reveal what step 2 is, we're one bang away from revealing what step 2 is. This is going to be a way that I know how down are we down to get down today. Then I'll reveal what step 2 is. If we get through step 1, step 2, I'm going to give you an extra hour, and I will give away a Fernando Mendoza jersey here on today's program. Unless I had somebody actually ask me the other day, like, Mitch, if I win a jersey, can I get your shirt instead? The answer to that is yes. If you guys would rather get the Mendoza shirt that we just launched, which, by the way, you should be able to just click it's click like the product link now.
Type 1 if you can see. We linked the new T-shirt, the new Mendoza T-shirt to the live show. We're trying to make it easier for y'all if y'all want to purchase it. Can you just give us some help and type 1 if you can see it on the live show at the bottom?
If you can, it's simple. You just click on that bad boy, and then if you want to go get your shirt, you're ready to rock and roll. Also, obviously, I'll put this link for you guys down in the comments. It's available to y'all there. If you want to go get your shirt, you can. It's chatsports.com/Mendoza. Comes in sizes extra small all the way up to 5XL. It's under $30. So if you want to go get your Mendoza shirt, you're about to start seeing a lot more swag from the Raiders Report from our team here. We were recently able to hire a guy who's doing all this. And again, this goes to, I don't keep any of the supers. We don't keep any of the Venmo. We invest the money back into being able to figure out ways to get you guys some more cool shit. So if you want it, chatsports.com/Mendoza. You ready to get this show started? Little perfect off-season action here. So this is how it's going to go. There's 5 minutes on the clock. I'm going to allow you guys to vote. There are 3 ways that you can vote on the show who you want to be the next Raiders head coach. The live poll is one of the ways. Let me know down in the chat is one of the ways. Also, by Super Chats is how you can pick who the next Raiders head coach is. So if there's a guy that you really, really want the Raiders to go out and get, you can let me know via Super Chat, and essentially you can lock in the pick if you want. But whatever the live poll is, we're going to count that as 100 points, okay? We're going to count it as 100 points. However the comments go, whatever person I see the most down in the comments section, whether it's Clint Kubiak, right now I see Webb, like I'm seeing a lot of KKs for Clint. If you want Mike LaFleur, type ML, whatever you got to do. Whoever gets the most comments, 100 points. Whoever is the poll vote getter gets 100 points. If you send in a super chat and it's like $5 super chat, I want Clint Kubiak, that's 5 points. So here's how I'm going to keep track of it. The live poll up there is what I just thought would be the most votes, probably the most common answers. If there is somebody that's like, no, I really, really want XYZ person, well, then I'll update this point getter right over here. So Clint, Jesse, Mike LaFleur, and then the other guy. So this is us just doing our best here to keep track. Like if I were to look right now, I would say it's 200 to nothing. Is how I would say right now. So if you guys are good with Clint Kubiak being the next Raiders head coach, keep spamming KK. If you want Minter, LaFleur, Davis Webb, if somebody wants that other person a little bit more, I'm going to be honest, you're going to have to spend some money in order for that to happen. If you are the MVP of today's show, you hold a lot, and I mean a lot of power, because there might be a situation where we get into a tiebreaker, or there might be a situation where I look at something and I'm like, I don't know if I like it. And then I'll give the MVP the final decision on what they decide to do. The way that you're the MVP, if you're number one in XP, or as soon as you bang on today's show right now, you would be the new MVP on the program. So as it stands, Clint Kubiak is up big. While the offseason steps are rolling in, we're going to keep on rocking through some super chats, and I'm going to keep on looking down in the comments to see who ends up getting the most votes. But right now, it's a lot of KKs. To Jolo, the only way John Gruden gets any consideration on this program is if you drop a $1,000 Venmo. Because suggesting John Gruden to be the next Raiders head coach tells me that you do not remember Gruden and that you don't realize how dumb of an answer that is.
Also,
you
probably don't watch the show.
You definitely don't watch the show. Mitch, why haven't we got a coach for the Raiders yet? It's because we're still waiting on certain guys. Because certain people ended up winning, like you look at Clint Kubiak, you look at Davis Webb, you look at the Rams guys, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of coaches that they're still considering in there. I do wonder if they were really interested in Minter, and Minter now looks like he's going to take that Baltimore job. But you can't submit an interview request until January 26th on Kubiak, Webb, Shieldhouse, LaFleur, anybody playing in the AFC or NFC championship game. You can't submit an interview request for them until January 26th. So very, very important.
202 now.
Uh-oh, they're up 202. Eric said Curt Cignetti, put him on the board. Curt Cignetti, put him on the board. Eric, is there any position or player we're trading back into the first round if they're still available? The answer to this is yes, and you have to say yes to this one. And I only say that because we don't know how free agency is going to go. And what's going to be cool today is you guys are going to be able to pick like certain free agents, certain players. And if we don't like a certain spot, you can then figure out a way to, hey, trade back in and go get somebody. But like to me, you got to make sure your trenches are good. If there's certain offensive linemen that are available, if there's like a certain edge rusher that's available, yes, you have to consider it. And if you're the Raiders and you trade back into round one, I think that that's where you got to get really creative with those 3 4th-round picks. Because you have 3 4th-round picks. Can you move some of them to try to get back up into the third? Because I will say this. If you want to get back into the first round, you're going to have to trade probably your second and your third and maybe one of those fourths to try to get back up into round one. Jersey boy, what's going on, man? Just spitballing. But if the Raiders want Lamar, trade down with the Jets for pick 2, 16, and 44. Trade pick 16 for Lamar, draft Reese or Bain at 2. I want to be clear here. This is not nearly enough for the number 1 overall pick. And if you're the Raiders and you need a franchise quarterback, you got to hold the number 1 overall pick to number 1 pick, like franchise quarterback value. If we don't get 5 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, then I'm just not interested. And in fact, I've already done an entire show around what I believe the number 1 overall pick is worth to the Raiders. This here's not close. This is like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and them handing you crackers to me. It's not nearly enough. So I think we can lock in. Clint Kubiak, can you just add Kubiak then up here? We'll do that type of style. So Clint Kubiak, congratulations, y'all. Give yourself a round of applause. The next head coach in our perfect offseason is Clint Kubiak. Shout out to all of y'all. Here's the problem, though. Now we got to be able to find an offensive coordinator to pair with Mr. Clint. So, again, I'm going to give you some options here. You can obviously super chat. You can obviously comment down below if there's somebody else that you want. I'm trying to do my best to just give you names. Head coach was a lot easier. OC, you could probably figure out where this one's going to be. It's a little bit more difficult. So, to me, what I decided to do with the three names that you're going to see are just going to be names that, A, I've kind of circulated, B, I've heard some rumors around, and then you'll just kind of see how it ends up unfolding. So, big money. Why is nobody talking about Shula? It's because Shula's going to be the next head coach of the Steelers. Shula's going to be the next head coach of the Steelers. So, you guys ready? Next OC. So, Chugs is going to update the poll. As soon as Chugs updates the poll, you guys go up there, you start voting. You can start commenting down below. Obviously, there is a lot more candidates to consider here, right?
This one's going to be a little tougher.
This is going to be a lot tougher.
So we're going to go 1 for Clay Kubiak, 2 for Cliff Kingsbury, 3 for Mike Kafka, 4 for other. Or just type whoever else
And
you
if
want.
there's just somebody else that you're looking for, again, fire away at me. I mean, there's so many different answers for offensive coordinator. Like if you're asking Mitch, where's Mike McDaniel? Mike McDaniel has already said he wants either to be a head coach or he's going to be the offensive coordinator of the Chargers. If you're like, what about Brian Dable? Brian Dable has already said, I'm either going to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills or I'm going to be the offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans. So, you're not going to get any of those guys. If you still want to vote for them, that's your call. But at the end of the day, here's how this is going. Now, I saw somebody say Davis Webb for OC. If you want to vote for Webb, if you want to vote for Shieldhouse, you're absolutely able to do that. I personally do not know if Webb would take our offensive coordinator job, and I only say that because I think Vance Joseph is going to take the gig in Denver. And based on what I've heard, Webb and Joseph are very close. I do wonder if Davis Webb would follow somebody that he's worked with down to Arizona. But I would make the argument to Davis Webb that the job here with the Raiders offense is much better than the job in Arizona. So as a reminder, 100 points for the poll, 100 points for whatever gets the most comments, and then if you want to super chat and get those extra votes in, I would love to see what you guys got. Let's go to Haydo. Who would be your number 1 wide receiver free agent target? If only there was a video out there where you could get that answer, Haydo. If only there was an answer. Haydo, I encourage you to look up my top 10 NFL free agents for the Las Vegas Raiders. There's only one free agent on that show. I also, not trying to be coy, and I'm not trying to be like a dick with this answer. It's just, I don't want my answer to skew something else that's going to happen on today's live show. Like, today is all about me kind of sitting back. I'm going to answer questions to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, I want you to be the people that ultimately decide what's going to happen for the Raiders. But you'll know. Because to me, it's very clear who number 1 is. It's very clear who number 2 is. And you're actually going to get a video over the weekend on some other candidates. M. Reezy, can you help me explain to people why drafting Mendoza number 1 and building around him is a better option than building the team before having a quarterback? All right. Can you explain?
He's basically saying why it makes sense to draft Mendoza, even though a lot of people are saying the Raiders shouldn't even look at a quarterback. I think he's talking about something possibly Derek Carr said.
Well, Derek Carr actually recorrected himself, and Derek said, I did not say that I don't want the Raiders to draft Mendoza. He's saying that Derek said that he was saying that he didn't want the Raiders to draft Mendoza if their team looked the way that it did right now, which my answer to that is, well, yeah, no flipping shit. Nobody here wants the Raiders to draft Mendoza if your team looks the way that it does right now. But because you have $100 million in salary cap, because you go out there and spend, you can build it. So, I think people that go, the Raiders shouldn't draft Mendoza, you're looking at the last year Raiders. Does Pete Carroll still coach this team? No. If Pete Carroll still coached this team, I'd say don't draft Mendoza. So when people say don't draft Mendoza, the offensive line, it's just as idiotic as saying, well, the Raiders shouldn't draft Mendoza because of Pete Carroll. That was last year. We got money to be able to fix the O-line, but I want to be clear. If we don't fix the O-line, I will sit up here on this show and I'll go, I don't know if we should draft Fernando Mendoza. Bayou Raider bang! Kubiak. He wants Clay Kubiak, 49ers offensive coordinator. And if you look at the poll right now, I think it's clearly looking like Clint is going to be joining his brother Clay. Very interesting as it stands right now.
Close race, Jim.
Yeah, it's holy cow. Go back to Bayou on the road. 5 more hours, so I'm tuned in. Just hard to interact while I'm driving. So if I miss a shout out from a Nation fan member, I'm sorry. Love y'all. Appreciate you, Mitch and Chug. Shout out to Alex for the good news. Great tune. Yeah, my wife, she got a new job. She's working her tail off. Also, Bayou. I don't got to get into everything, but I appreciate everything that you've done as well. Shout out to all y'all that always make this show a lot of fun. I mean, here's the thing, Bayou. If you got a 5-hour road trip, we're 5 bangs away from extending the show another hour, and I know it's a lot of bangs. We're giving away a jersey if we get there, but I got some beers here if you guys want to get a little Thursday happy hour going. Shout out to Bayou Raider, and you know what? I got a little extra. If we get to the 5 bangs, okay? If we get to the 5 bangs, not only am I going to give away a Fernando Mendoza jersey, I have a Raiders Report hat here. Somebody the other day said, Mitch, can I get your Raiders Report hat? This is a game-worn hat. This guy's getting old. I'll sign it, and I'll send it to you. This is the first Raiders Report hat I ever owned. So if you're the MVP today and we do happy hour, I'll send it to you. Sports, if we go Clint Kubiak, would we be able to get his brother on staff as well? Also, if Clint was our head coach, who do you think would be the defensive coordinator? You're going to actually see the person that I heard pop up the other day in a conversation. So you'll see a candidate that's already on Seattle's squad. This has been somebody that also the Raiders have shown some interest in some past years. But you're going to see my answer to this question coming up here in literally probably 30 seconds. So, in the Raiders' perfect offseason, you got head coach Clint Kubiak. You got offensive coordinator Clay Kubiak. I'll tell you what right now, this is off to a really solid start. How would you guys grade this start? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know down below. While those grades are coming in, let's give Chugs a few seconds here to update the poll. And I want to mention this. So I love the question that you just asked because it's like, all right, well, who's going to be the defensive coordinator? The top names that I mentioned in the video that I did probably last week where I go through, all right, this head coach can maybe get this OC, this DC pair, and blah, 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 blah. When I was talking about Clint, I actually think I said Rob Leonard into the mix there. Rob Leonard's not the name that I was talking about. I've also been hearing a lot of Raheem Morris, but that's because, the Raiders have showed so much interest in the Rams. Raheem Morris used to be the DC before he went over to Atlanta. But I heard a name the other day, and the name that y'all need to really start paying attention to if the Raiders do end up going out and hiring Clint Kubiak, it's Carl Scott. Carl Scott right now is the DB coach and pass game coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. But what's really important about Carl Scott, he was also on the staff with Kubiak in Minnesota in 2021. So Carl Scott, in all honesty, if Clint Kubiak was hired, and there's odds that end up coming out, the name that I heard recently was Carl Scott. Again, I'm not saying that that's the name that they're going to go out and get, but I'm a fan just like all of y'all. I think that everybody can say that I really haven't mentioned Carl Scott on this show, but I've recently heard his name, so I'm going to start putting his name out there a little bit more, and we know how big connections are. And Scott is somebody that's a very well-respected coach. I don't want people, especially Raider fans, because of how bad Pete went, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, it was a disaster with Pete and bringing in all these Seahawks guys. It's not the same. It's not the same.
We'll go the same thing here. Give us a 1 for Raheem Morris, a 2 for Rob Leonard,
okay,
a 3 for Kyle Scott, and if you're going to say somebody else, give us a different name down below.
Right, yeah, like if you were like, hey, let's go with Patrick Graham. That could be another one, right? I did want to at least put like one coach up here into the mix, so You can give me any name you want. Hire any defensive coordinator you want. And poll, comment, super chat is the way that it ends up going down. We got 4 minutes here to figure out who's
the closest one.
This is by far going to be the closest one. Like, I would say right now, Raheem Morris, I don't even think we can give points yet based on this poll.
No.
Because right now, Morris would have 100. Based on the comments, my comment grabber is saying actually Carl Scott. And this is why I was like, I don't know if I want to give my answer because I feel like I'm going to skew people. But I would say it's 100 for it's 100 for Raheem Morris. I'd say 100 for Carl Scott. But it's freaking close, man. See, now some extra twos are coming in. Very, very close. Jersey Boy, to add to my last super chats, this was about the trade. Is it possible to make the Jets overpay for the number 1 pick because the Jets are desperate for a quarterback? Yes. Jersey Boy, what I want you to do is I want you to go on YouTube, can be now, can be later, look up number 1 draft cost or Raiders report number 1 pick cost. Essentially what I do is I put out 5 different trades of what I want the number 1 overall pick to be worth for the Raiders. I show you what it's probably worth in terms of the trade value chart. I put out what the bare minimum is for me. And then I also put out there a crazy Titans trade. But the one trade that I do involves the Jets. And literally I say in that show, if you trade with the Jets, you make them overpay. Rich Wolf, rooting for Stiddy, but got to go Pats. Go Spillane. Yeah, I'll tell you this right now, man. If there's one player that's playing in that game, the number 1 player I'd root for that's playing in that game is probably Robert Spillane. In all honesty. I mean, he was, I really wish we could have kept him. He's a captain. I think I wouldn't be afraid to say he's literally the definition of what you want in a Raider. And I think that's why we were so frustrated when, we ended up not getting him back. Jason, what's going on, man? I believe the best for any coach in his supporting cast. Who would be the top O-line coach available if Clint got the job, and who would be a serviceable DC? So again, I think the number 1 DC candidate to look at right now is Carl Scott, but that's again just based off of something that I recently heard. I'm gonna be honest. I have not done the offensive line homework yet. And
Brennan Carroll.
Stop it. Anybody but Brennan. Like, anybody will be an upgrade over him. And the God honest truth is, like, when I do my draft coverage, I study who I want in the first round. And then, like the next week is like, who do I want on day 2? The week after that, we kind of get into the crux a little bit of the day 3 overall prospects. I'm still in the head coach research, DC, OC. And then after those start to fill, that's when the offensive line conversations start to happen. But the one O-line coach who I've always been a big fan of is the guy from Philadelphia. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, he's not leaving.
No, I know he's not leaving.
Stoutland.
Yeah, I mean.
Jeff Stoutland.
You guys know I'm a big fan of Carmen Brasillo. He ain't going to come back, though. Maybe Brady would be able to convince him. But I hate to give you an answer, but I'm never going to sit up here and I'm never going to lie to y'all. So I hope that you know that. What up, Shep? Chances Rams fire McVay if they lose? 0. 0, 0, 0. 0.
This was the vote for Clint Kubiak.
Got the vote in for Clint. Breeze, usual, showing up, showing out some love. Eric Sanchez got a vote in for Kurt Signetti. What happens with Max Crosby this season? I don't think anything's going to happen with Max this season. I think the Max rumors get overblown because he's Max Crosby, and everybody just assumes that he wants to be traded every year, but Max has made it very clear that he wants to be a Raider for life. I spoke to somebody close to Max that told me that Max wants to retire a Raider. And, I think if you heard it from the person that I heard it from, you'd go, yeah, I think Max wants to retire a Raider. I'm not saying it's impossible. Like, let's be very clear on that. Like, if you're the Raiders and you do want to truly do a rebuild and you want to hang on to that number 1 overall pick, moving on from a defensive end that's had a lot of injuries is something that you should consider. But I also think what the Raiders got to do is you got to get people on that team that want to win and do everything in their power to win. And Max is the definition of a Raider. So I think because we're going to put so much concentration on offense, and if we spend a lot of money on offense, maybe going out then and getting somebody like a defensive coordinator, not a defensive-minded head coach, to build around Max. Again, like to me, I don't want to move on from Max Crosby. But if you offered me 3 first-round picks, I'm going to take the 3 first-round picks. So here's how it stands right now. It looks like Morris and Rob Leonard are both here tied at 100. Since we have a tie, Bayou Raider, you're the MVP. I know you're driving. I don't want you to do anything insane. So, Bayou, if you want to break this tiebreaker, you can let me know between Rob Leonard and Raheem Morris.
Or if somebody wants to super chat
if
for
somebody
one of them.
super chats in for one of them, or if somebody drops, I mean, right now it's a 101 for Carl Scott. Or somebody else. But I would say right now.
It's a what?
Like you'd have to beat 100.
Oh, yeah. I was like.
If you bang right now for Carl Scott, it's Carl Scott. If you bang right now for somebody else, I'll give it to somebody else. But right now it's Raheem Morris, Rob Leonard, Bayou Raider. The ball is in your court. And again, I don't want you to do anything outlandish. If you can't answer, believe me, it's I don't want you to do anything crazy. LA Crash Dog, what's going on, Gunny? Gunny, after the show, text me. We got to talk about the trip in San Jose. I'm going to give you a time to meet up with Chugs and I on that Friday. That way, we can go out for like dinner, something like that before we go to the event.
Maybe a late lunch.
Yeah, a little late lunch. Maybe get some mimosas. No, I can't do. If I do mimosas, I'm passing out.
Is there a Desert Shark San Jose?
Oh, dude, I wish. That food was unbelievable, man. It was unbelievable.
Let me see.
Looks like Bayou's going to go with Rob Leonard. Let's go with Rob Leonard. So Rob Leonard is going to be the Raiders' defensive coordinator. So as it stands, wait a minute here. I think we got to go with Mark Prossers. It was tied 100-100. Bayou, I appreciate it, but I think we got to go with Mark Prossers, Raheem Morris. Let's effing go. Bayou ended up banging before for Clay. He was the MVP, and he's still the MVP. But if we're going to break the tiebreaker, I think Raheem Morris, because of what Mark Prosser just did, we're going to go with Raheem Morris as the defensive coordinator. So here's how we're looking. Clint Kubiak, Clay Kubiak, Raheem Morris. I want to be super clear. This is an A frickin' plus right now to me. I think all of these coaches are really talented, and the thing that I love most is, yes, I understand Raheem Morris is a bad head coach, but he's got head coaching experience, and in this dynamic, he would be the head coach of the defense, and the defense he built in Atlanta and the defenses he had, very, very good.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, now I think we got to go to Rob. I mean, that's how this show is going to have to go. All right, Bayou, you win. It's going to be Rob Leonard. No. It's going to be Rob. 60 seconds, Mark, for you to answer it. I don't really know what else to say, man. Mark, shout out to you. But
no, I think it's Rob. He says, Mark literally just commented, "Well done, Bayou. Well done."
All right. Rob Leonard. I mean, that's the opposite of the Cliff Kingsbury hire. Cliff's like, Raheem Morris just was like, all right, dude, sick. I got the Raiders' defensive coaching job. And then Tom Brady was like, not so fast, sweetheart. Rob Leonard, the new defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I will say this. This is a normal Raiders Report show. Bayou Raider has already banged twice. He's already banged twice, which means, can you go to step 2 for me? Which means we are right now, as it stands, and you guys will see why I did what I did, and I'm just going to tell you, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff like this during the offseason because there's clearly somebody that we want. I want Mendoza. 1 and 5. So we got the 1 bang from Bayou, got the 2nd bang from Bayou, and then we got an alley. It's up there in the air. So I would say we are 3.5 bangs away from doing an extra hour happy hour and giving away a Fernando Mendoza jersey on today's show. If you're down to get down, you already know. Get down on it. Get down on it. All right, we got, as it stands, Clint, Clay, and now Rob Leonard. We got, I'll tell you again, like you guys know how much I love Rob Leonard. Rob Leonard to me is one of the best, most underappreciated defensive coaches in all of the National Football League. This would make me a little bit nervous. Like, I think Raheem Morris is a better fit based on what we have because Raheem Morris has head coaching experience. But Rob Leonard, I do think would be a very sneaky candidate to be that next guy of everyone being like, holy flipping shit, dude. I also think by you hiring Rob Leonard, like guarantees Max Crosby ain't going anywhere. Max loves Rob. Not going anywhere. So here, let's play the next part of this game. We hire the head coach. You got your offensive coordinator. You got your defensive coordinator. Mark! Oh, throws it up! Bayou! Bang! 3 bangs to go. Bayou said, I got you, Mark. I got you, Mark. So now the next part of this program is let's re-sign one player. Right now, as it stands, the Las Vegas Raiders have 25 free agents. You got some unrestricted free agents. You got some exclusive rights free agents. Then you have some restricted rights free agents. I'm going to be honest. I'm only going to put out the 3 that I feel like are the most common that I hear on my show. So between these 3 players here, Eric Stokes, Daniel Carlson, Jordan Meredith, or if there's somebody else you want, maybe Jamal Adams, maybe Thomas Booker.
Devin White?
Maybe, no, if it's Devin White, it's 500 to even get him in this conversation. I'm not doing Devin White. It's not going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. It's honestly, if you want Devin White, that's what the show's about. Malcolm Kuntz, whoever it is. So, poll, comment, and if you want somebody else, you send in the super chat. Now, I'll be honest with you. I kind of figured that this one would be a little bit of a landslide. I could be wrong. I could be right. We will see. Could be wrong. Could be right. So if you want Stokes, let's go 1. Carlson, 2. Checks out. And then Jordan Meredith, 3. While those votes are rolling in, which I think I know how this one's going to go, we will answer a few super chats here. Gabriel, by the way, yes. So I actually mentioned this at the very beginning of today's show. I don't know if you were here, but I don't know why. I swear to you, and I would never try to steal money from y'all. I would never try to rip you off. But I said it on today's show. As soon as I got done, I had 3 from you, I had 1 from Justine, and I had 1 from Steve. So you're already in the duck race. You're good to go. And again, I apologize for that. I don't know why it took an extra hour to load up. Sometimes our internet's not the best here. But that's 100% on us, on me, on Venmo, on the internet. But you've already got 3 ducks in. And again, I apologize. So I apologize. Rob Davis Webb, been hearing a lot of good things. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Webb as well. I heard the interview went outstanding. I heard the Raiders were very impressed by him. I've been talking about him a little bit more. I would say right now it's a 3-headed race between LaFleur, Webb, and Clint Kubiak to be the next head coach. Anthony Herrera, maybe Minter walked out of the interview without the job because he might know Jackson won't be there for the long haul. Is that possible? I have no idea. I really think that Minter and the Ravens didn't come to an agreement because I think the Ravens are just doing this process the way that they've done the process every year. Like, if you are a confident organization, right? If you're a confident organization like the Baltimore Ravens, you're going to do what you've always done. It's what I would do. And what Baltimore is doing, they're like, I don't need to rush because they think that they're the best job out there. I don't know if I agree. I would say the Buffalo job is better because you have Josh Allen. But to them, they're probably going, I think in their mind, they go, I have the best job. When you think you have the best job, there's no need to rush. So I think what they're doing is they're doing their due diligence. They're looking at every coach, at every candidate. It wouldn't shock me if they wanted to interview some of these people, from the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Rams. It wouldn't shock me if they wanted to interview some of those people. So because of that, I think that they're just taking their time. But I really do think that Jesse Minter is going to be the next head coach of the Ravens because he turned down an interview today with the Browns. So that essentially means that it's either the Ravens or the Raiders. And I think that it's really smart that Minter did that because what he's going to do is if I'm Minter and I'm Minter's agent, I call up the Raiders and I go, if you want me, here's what it's going to cost. And blah, 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 the Raiders are interested. And then I call the Ravens and I go, well, hey, the Raiders just hit me with this offer. Baltimore, I think, would go, all right, we'll go take that Raiders job. We're going to be able to find somebody. But if you really want to work here, you're going to have to wait. And I think that's what we're in right now. We're in a little bit of a waiting game.
Something hilarious just happened, Mitch.
Oh, boy.
We got a shirt sale for – this isn't the hilarious part. We got a shirt sale for the Mendoza shirts. You can get yours now. Chatsports.com/Mendoza.
Okay.
And our boss, James Yoder, said, On the receipt, basically,
Oh, boy.
he sent this. Hold on one second. Let me.
You're going to read it?
Oh, no. I'm going to.
Also, pretty confident that Eric Stokes is going to win this one. Now, again, you could totally F this up if you wanted to. The only way you're effing it up, it's a big one. I'm not going to lie to you. You'd have to drop a $200 super chat to F it up, but I've seen people F shit up before on this show. Because, again, 100 points poll, 100 points comments. Do we all agree that Eric Stokes has been the poll winner and it's been the most commented? I think that answer is yes. So if you're like, dude, we got to get Jordan Meredith, we got to get Daniel Carlson, or if you're really passionate about somebody else, Devin White, if you're watching this show, hey, you can vote for yourself, Devin. Go ahead.
Dude,
Yoda Jenkins says 1.
This is what his response to the receipt was.
Are you going to show a picture? Because
yes.
I'll say I don't see anything.
Let me make it bigger.
Let's get that guy some lotion. How about?
It was, hold on.
Fernando Mendoza.
Roger Williams. Shout out to Roger Williams in the chat. Absolutely hilarious.
Wait, how do you send a picture with the receipt? Can I see it, or did he Slack it to us?
It's in production.
Oh.
He bought a shirt and literally responded to the receipt with this.
To the receipt email. I mean, Roger, are you here in the building? Because that's unbelievable. Fernando Mendoza, no matter what. Though if Fernando Mendoza was in this, they'd be like, well, Mendoza didn't go to his buddy's birthday party. Or nobody went to his birthday party.
Does anybody know what movie this is from?
God, I hope so.
Let me know down below in the chat. Do you know what movie that's from? And while you're down there, get your own Mendoza shirt, because it is Mendoza no matter what.
Wait, Raider Roger 1966. Is this you? Because you just said yes, sir, and I just saw Roger. Is this you, Roger? Because I'll say this. I've never seen my boss put in our Slack production channel something as, I don't want to say as unimportant as what you did, but our production is literally for like breaking news. So the fact that he put this in here, I can only imagine how much he was laughing. And he's from Ohio, so
if you agree with this though, Mendoza no matter what, get your Fernando Mendoza Raiders report t-shirt
Raider
today.
Roger 1966 said I sent it.
That's badass.
I mean, shit, tell Arnold that should be a shirt. Actually, I don't think it's a bad idea. Unbelievable. Draft day, Kevin Costner. Fernando Mendoza, no matter what. Unbelievable. Unbelievable reference, by the way. Shout out to Raider Roger, dude. That's sick. All right, I think we can all agree. Eric Stokes, though it's with a C. You're okay. So we got Clint Kubiak, Clay Kubiak, Rob Leonard, Eric Stokes. Now we have a tough decision to make here. And when I say tough, I mean it's not really tough. What do we do with Geno Smith?
What do we do with a drunken sailor?
What do we do
with a drunken sailor?
With Geno Smith? By the way, it is a $20 Venmo right now. LA crashed like I just got it. $20 Venmo right now for a chance to win $80 here on today's show. I see everybody's typing cut. And I figured every single person would type cut. But the show is called Perfect Offseason. So I think the way to make this perfect is, can we trade Geno? Can we trade Geno? If we get one bang or an alley-oop and somebody throws it down, the Raiders have traded Geno Smith. The reason why this is helpful is because this then gives us an extra, it's like an extra $18.5 million. Actually, it's an extra $26 million, if my math is correct. Because you take on $26 million of the Geno contract. So essentially, you go from being a Raiders organization that's thinking in your mind right now, hey, we're going to have to pay Geno Smith $18.5 million. No matter what. If Geno gets cut, if Geno demands his way out, we owe Geno Smith $18.5 million. If there's a team out there that goes, man, I don't know, maybe it's the New York Jets. They're like, shit, man, we can't get a quarterback. We got money, but I don't know what to do. maybe $26 million, you go out and get yourself a Geno Smith. So imagine if we could add $26 million extra to the salary cap. Essentially what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, but I'm going to leave this up here on screen. 60 seconds on the clock. I've already seen some crazy shit today from a few people. No matter what, we're getting rid of Geno Smith. If you want to get rid of Geno Smith, type me down below. I think everybody here is sick of number 7. I've seen a few people float out the idea of, well, what if we just have Geno be a backup? If we're going to be paying him anyway, let's just keep him as a backup. In my personal opinion, you got to cut the cancer. You got to trim the fat. You got to get rid of people that don't want to be here. So you either cut Geno Smith and you eat the $18.5 million, it is what it is. Or can somebody find a trade partner a little bit crazy enough to be able to do it? Sin said, trade Geno to the CFL. Oh, dude.
I don't want him.
I say, I don't think the Canadian Football League would want him. Imagine. I see a few more Super Chats, and we'll get to the Super Chats on the next one here. So I think I'm seeing a lot of me's from Shav, Loyal, Raider Nation 88, Esco. See a bunch of you. While this is happening, I'm going to give you guys a little bit longer because I got to give a shout out to today's live sponsor, Prize Picks. Get $50 when you play $5 over on Prize Picks. The big game. It's almost here. And there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks. You know who's playing potentially in the big game? Seattle. You know who got rid of Geno Smith? Seattle. And they probably feel good because they were right. And since the big game,
I think not.
It's right around the corner. That also means it's your last chance to get into football action before next season. So close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Find your community on Prize Picks with a new social feed. And if you want to see my lineup for this Seahawks game up against the Rams, it's a $5 to pay $32.50. And as you can see, I am hoping for some points, but I also went with a power play. And no matter how you play, Prize Picks puts that power in your hands. So join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. Download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Bayou Raider! Bang! Where are we shipping them off to? Let me know down below where you want to ship Geno Smith off to, because I'll say this. We just added $26 million in salary cap space. In all honesty, you go out and you add $26 extra million, that allows you to go out and add an extra player in free agency, which maybe is something that we're going to have to do in our perfect offseason. $26 million. Shout out to y'all, man. Edison, Mitch, y'all be safe in Dallas with the winter storm. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're already preparing for it. It's going to be crazy. I know it's only like 4 or 5 inches, though my wife tells me 4 or 5 inches is a lot, especially when it's a lot to handle. But down here in Dallas, when you get that many inches, it like ruins everything. Everything shuts down, pipes burst. Like I remember my one friend a few years ago, their house, because of the pipes froze, they burst, and in his living room, they had, I'm not kidding you, 2 feet of frozen water in their living room. It was like all over, it was insane. Do you remember that? Do you remember? There was like an apartment complex that happened to. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Zon, you and I both know, dude, 4 or 5 inches, that's a lot. 2 bangs away from an extra hour of the Raiders Report. All right, let's go to the back half here of our perfect offseason. Does everybody agree here that we need an offensive lineman? I think we all agree here that we need an offensive lineman. I know we got Miller. I know we got JPJ. We got to be able to figure it out with our other 3, third-round picks, Glaze, Caleb, Charles. Need to figure something out. So I knew I had to get an offensive lineman in here. So let's sign one. I'll let you guys pick. Whoever you want on the offensive line. Do you want to go Tyler Lindenbaum? Do you want to go David Edwards? Or do you want to go with Braden Smith? Essentially, this is the best center, the best offensive guard, though Edwards plays left guard, and then Braden Smith, right tackle. If there's somebody else on the O-line, throw it out there. The reason why, I'm just going to say I don't think there needs to be anybody else in this equation, is because Bayou Raider gave us an extra $26 million by trading away Geno Smith. Like, now, we definitely don't have to penny pinch. Like, now we are by far the number one team. So who do you want? Again, if you put Tyler Lindenbaum and you sign him, that means we're playing JPJ at guard. If you want JPJ to play center, I don't think that you should want Tyler Lindenbaum, because then I believe Lindenbaum would be the center. JPJ is more of a guard than Lindenbaum is a guard, personally, in my opinion. But you guys can let me know. So while these votes are coming in, I want to go through some supers. I want to answer some questions. And by the way, we are 2 away from going live for an extra hour. I see Jeremy Valve is here in the building. What up, Jeremy Valve? I see my guy Bayou Raider in the duck race. Also, Bayou, since you've been such a legend on today's stream, I'm going to give you a few extra ducks in this duck race. I gave you 2 extra ducks, Bayou. Appreciate you, dog. Yeah, I see a lot of ones. Real Cowboy, Clay is the OC with Clint as head coach. Could great. My only fear is a Carroll situation. If for some reason Clint's team struggles like Pete Carroll's did, will he make a change at OC if it's needed? See, to me, the only reason why I'm not as worried about it, it's because Clay's actually a good coach. Like Clay Kubiak is actually a well-respected coach. Where Brennan, sometimes I put my Raiders goggles on, and, I was hopeful that Brennan was going to be a good coach, and in the offseason, I'm always a hopeful guy. But, if you know anything about Kyle Shanahan doesn't, F around. And it's why I love, when you watch Shanahan on the sidelines, I forget what rookie he was chewing out the other day, but the rookie kind of talked to him on the side, and who was it? Renardo, great. And, Shanahan is very well known for, being a guy that just, doesn't take shit. And you shouldn't, right? You're dealing with millionaires, millions of dollars, and you're dealing with my job. If you're dealing with my job, I'm not effing around with that type of bullshit. So, to me, Shanahan never makes Clay Kubiak the OC unless he does truly feel like he is a good offensive coordinator. And when you look at the OCs that have worked underneath Shanahan, they've all been very good. So, I hear you. This is something that you could point out. But I would say, I think you're only worried about this because of Pete Carroll. I would bring up, are you worried about drafting Fernando Mendoza number 1 overall because Jamarcus Russell? To me, it's the exact same thing. Robbo. Yeah, we already went to the Robbo one because we've been hearing a lot of good things. DJ, what are the percentage of getting Lamar Jackson, and do you think this will help us or break us? I don't like the idea personally. I'll say this. I don't think any Raider fan out there should dislike the idea of Lamar Jackson. And I'm Team Mendoza. I really truly look at it as it is a true win-win. And for the Raiders who didn't do a lot of winning and haven't done a lot of winning, a win-win scenario is ideal in any situation possible. The percentage of us getting Jackson, I don't want to put it at 0 because it's the NFL, but I think it's a 5% chance, man. You have, it's got to be a situation where Lamar don't want to be there. You can get Lamar Jackson at a hell of a discounted rate. Imagine if you get Lamar Jackson for, I don't know, your first-round pick next year and a second-round pick. I think if you're the Raiders, you consider that because then you still hold your number 1 overall pick. You can trade back and then get more assets. I still don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to go get Mendoza, and I would encourage them to get Mendoza. But to say it's impossible, I don't think anything's impossible in the National Football League. Let's go to Big Money Dad Bod. Why is no one talking about Chris Shula? I think the Chris Shula talk has quickly stopped because when you listen to a lot of the reports from Pittsburgh, when you listen to a lot of the things around the NFL, our Steelers guy is almost convinced that Shula is going to be the guy. So, though, this is interesting. There is a lot of threes down in the chat, and our scraper here, we have a comment scraper, It's saying that there were more threes than ones. So here's what I'm going to do. We got a minute left here. If you want Linderbaum, let me know. Or keep typing those ones. Try to flip it here to Linderbaum. Like if you want Linderbaum, I'd say type 1. If you want Braden Smith, I'd say type 3. If we still end with a tie at 100-100, Bayou, what would your vote be? If you want to let me know now with about 40 seconds left. Though the ones are slowly, I'll say this, the ones really got to pick up here for the last 35 seconds. Oh, big money! Oh, man, big money. Dad Bod threw up a 50. This is going to get interesting here. So I'll say this right now. It's 150 to 100. I mean, we're going to need a lot of ones because there's a lot of threes right now. Like, I don't know if we're going to have enough ones to catch up. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be Braden Smith. Bayou said 3. All right. Braden Smith is the option at right tackle. Lock it in. Lock it in. I'll say this. I'm surprised by that. That's okay, though. That's okay, though. Now you got Colt Miller on one side. You got Braden Smith on the other. JPJ's your center. So that means you got to just figure out your 2 guard positions. That means between Charles Grant, between Caleb Rogers, maybe you try to, well, he didn't bring back Meredith. So we're going to have to figure out that other guard position. But luckily, reminder, Bayou Raider bought us an extra $26 million, which is going to pay off here in just a little bit. So let's now talk about wide receiver. Because to me, I don't think it's smart for the Raiders to walk into the draft without signing a receiver. And the only reason why that I say that is because Trey Tucker is our most experienced receiver. I would like to be able to add an additional guy, someone with a little bit more experience. Because if you want to bring in a Surratt, an Omar Cooper, right? Like somebody that's worked already with Mendoza, it's a lot of young receivers overall. And I don't mind the idea of drafting a wide receiver. I want the Raiders to draft a receiver. But I do also think it's important if you're going to draft Mendoza to be able to add somebody that is a little bit of a veteran. Because having a rookie quarterback with a very young and inexperienced wide receiver room, I really don't think is the smartest way to get the biggest thing out of your investment. And the biggest investment that the Raiders have is Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall. But maybe on today's show we don't go get Mendoza. That's the last one. We'll get to it. So out of the receivers here, who would you go with? I went with the biggest name receiver in George Pickens. I went with Alec Pierce, and I went with Rashid Shaheed. And personally, to me, if you're the Raiders and you bring in Clint Kubiak, these are the 3 receivers that they might consider. Now, there's one name on here that I wouldn't consider, but again, this show's not about me. It's about all of y'all. What would you want here? I think that there are 2 clear answers, personally. I think that there's 2 clear answers. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. Let's go to Sir Chai. Cliff Kingsbury. This is his last chance. Sparky, would Clint Kubiak call plays as the head coach? Yeah. Raider Rob, my guy. Mitch, who's your number 1 DC if not Leonard? I love Raheem Morris. I think Raheem Morris is, again, some guys aren't made to be head coaches. I think Morris is a phenomenal defensive coordinator. And I'm just going to keep on leaning on this name I've been hearing a lot of. It's Carl Scott. And when you have certain connections, I'm going to say Raheem Morris, Carl Scott. Because, again, it's about plan. It's about unity. So the fact that Scott's got all the ties that he does with Clint, that's going to be the route that I end up going. Darian Schofield, what up, Darren? Yo, am I crazy for thinking if Lamar requests a trade, not giving a first for him, also if we get Lamar and still keep the first overall, trading to the Jets for 2 firsts this year and a first next? To me personally, if you trade for Lamar Jackson, you got to get everything this year. Because the moment you go out and get Jackson, you're in win now mode. And he's 29, he ain't getting any younger. Max 29, he ain't getting any younger. Like, you're going all in right now. What you end up doing is you're going to then probably give him a contract extension. You're going to backload it because he's $74.5 million back-to-back seasons. So you backload that a little bit. But I really, you're not going to get Lamar for less than a first. I'll tell you that. Like, minimum, it's 2 first-round picks. Did you see Mendoza's LinkedIn post regarding the Raiders? I did not. I did not. I'll say this. Anytime there's certain things that I feel like I always see, I never know what to believe anymore, and that's the God-honest truth. It's one of the reasons why I hate everything's AI. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not real. But it wouldn't shock me at all that Mendoza updated his LinkedIn. That's probably the least shocking thing. Yoda said, pretty sure it was a Photoshop. Again, like, it wouldn't shock me. Because I'll tell you this right now. There is no way in hell Fernando Mendoza is putting anything Raiders on his LinkedIn. I don't think there's any way in hell. I mean, it would actually be a bad move by him. And I don't think that he's that type of person. I would imagine it's a Photoshop. Raiders for life, looking forward to the Raiders party in San Jose coming up in Napa. All set, can't wait to meet you guys. If you guys don't know about this Raiders party, it's funny. My dad goes, I watch every one of your shows, but he's like, where are you guys? He's like, are you doing that party? I'm like, Dad, I've talked about this every day for about 5 days. If you don't know, Chugs and I, we actually just booked our flights today. I don't, kind of. Well, we did have to rebook them. Our boss bought the plane ticket, put the tickets under the names of Mitchell Renz and Jeremy Chugs, which was unbelievable. But if you want to hang out with Chugs and I, we're going to be in San Jose Friday, February 6th from 7 to 10 p.m. I think there's a chance we might be there longer depending on how many people show up and show out. If you want to call to reserve your spot, 408-703-3201. I think we're going to pack this house. I think it's going to be absolutely insane. It's in San Jose. I've never been there. So, again, if you live near the area, if you want to hang out with a bunch of people from Raider Nation, some members of Mount Raidermore are going to be there. A few people from the Silver and Black Hills are going to be there. Pull up, show up. Can't wait to be able to do this. Yoda Jenkins, TSA. Who's this Chugs fella? Well, again, y'all don't maybe know my boss. He is like such a dotting I's, crossing T's dude. He sent it to us. He's like, I can't believe not only did I did this, but I paid for it. Like, I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty wild. So I'm seeing a lot of 2s and 3s here, Chugs. I'll say it's got to be 100-100 right now. It's got to be 100-100. Who's saying that? I'll say I do see more 3s. And what's interesting about this, Rashid Shaheed, he's got the ties to Clint Kubiak. Already the head coach here. Or do you go with Alec Pierce? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So, again, Ty's going to go to Bayou Raider. He's the MVP on today's show. Unless somebody super chats for Alec Pierce or Rashid Shaheed. I'll say this. I believe somebody earlier threw up an alley. Am I tripping? Because my YouTube, I don't know why. It's just tripping out, dude. I can't see any of the super chats. Big Money Dad Bod. Big Money Dad Bod threw up the alley-oop for Braden Smith. So technically, we're 1.5 bangs away from happy hour. 1.5 bangs away. Bayou says 2. I'm going to give Ty to Bayou Raider. He's the MVP on today's show. So right now, it's going to go to Bayou. It's going to go to Alec Pierce unless somebody super chats to break that tie. I'll give you guys a few seconds. But Will Raider says, no A.J. Brown, another diva head case. I'm with you, Will. And I'll say this. I'm very proud of Raider Nation not voting for George Pickens. Because Pickens is by far the most talented guy up here. But he is the definition of a head case. And I don't think that this can be a team that wants any head cases. I don't think it can be. All right, I think we're good to go. Alec Pierce signed at wide receiver. So now what we got to do is real Cowboy Shaheed, great returner as well. All right, let's lock it in. No, it's Alec Pierce. It's got to be much bigger than that. Somebody's got to finish that alley-oop because of how much Bayou's the MVP on this show. The only way you had to finish the alley-oop. So here we go. We got to go defender now, okay? And the defender, here's where it's going to get a little bit interesting. Again, there's so many options out there. So what I tried to do here, what I decided to do, is I'm going to give you my top 3 defenders from my top free agent show that I personally did. But there's just, again, so many other defenders out there if you want to go get them. So when you see the names that are about to be in this pool, that are about to be able to vote, how about this? What position is the Raiders' biggest need on defense? Linebacker, cornerback, defensive end, defensive tackle, safety. What would you vote? Lobo said, someone super chatted for Shaheed. I know, but they didn't do it big enough. It was also after the time. See, what you need to do, Real Cowboy, like you guys need to send in that like while the time's ticking down, because then I can add the points in. If it's after the time, then it's basically bang or alley-oop to get it. Somebody said Stingley. Stop it. All right, 1 defender. Type 1 for John Franklin Myers. Type 2 for Devin Lloyd. Type 3 for Odafe Owe. If you want a corner, if you want a safety, let me know who you would want. Because I would say top corners, I love Jamel Dean. I think Reek Woolen, Seattle ties has got to be mentioned in there. Deshaun Wright, Tariq Woolen, Jamel Dean are probably the top 3. You can add Tariq. Yeah, add a corner in there. All right, we're going to add a corner into the mix. Let's go Tariq Woolen. Since we got Clint, we'll do some Seattle ties here. Since we got Clint, we'll do some Seattle ties. 1, 2, 3, or 4. What are we thinking? And if you want Tariq, Chug said just vote other up at that poll. I know we already started it, but you can vote other. I mean, right now, I'd say it's pretty clearly Devin Lloyd for the poll, though the votes right now, our scraper needs a little bit more time. Mando says Rashid is a special team demon. Lots of 4s. This is interesting, man. We're going to go through some supers while this clock continues to tick down. I think we got that one. Jersey boy, Big Kubiak at head coach, Lil Kubiak at OC, Morris at DC, keep Leonard and Steckel on the staff. If you can keep both those guys, that's the tight end coach, and it's also the defensive line coach. I completely agree with you. If it was up to me, I'd actually give those guys a little bit more responsibility if possible. Mark! Raheem Morris, so close, Mark. Yep. B, Kubiak not good in New Orleans. I completely disagree with that. The New Orleans Saints, I want to say, were 3-0. That offense was humming, and then unfortunately, actually, Derek, I think, actually got hurt. And that offense slowed down here a little bit. So, I'll be real with you. I completely disagree. I encourage you to go back and look at how good Kubiak was when that offense was 100% healthy, because they lost a lot of pieces at the end of that season. Like Raheed Shaheed, they lost him. I forget all the players that they lost, but in the beginning of the year when that offense was 100% healthy, that offense was freaking humming. Webb, no on OC. Experience, let alone head coach. Cray not to offer McDaniel our head coach position, in my opinion. I mean, the only thing that I don't like, I kind of respect it, but I don't like it if I'm being honest. I think McDaniel did it on purpose, and I don't blame him. But his interview with the Raiders, I was told by a source, was more of an offensive coordinator job. And then the following day he goes, hey, unless I get a head coaching gig, I'm going to take the OC job with the Chargers. I don't want him to go to the Chargers, but I also want us to be able to get the best coach candidate possible. I would not be upset. I want to be very clear. I would not be upset at all if I woke up and was like, hey, Mike McDaniel is going to be the Raiders head coach. I think he's an outstanding offensive-minded guy. Bayou, gotcha, Mark. Danny Grant, when you match Fernando up against recent quarterbacks like Drake May, Bo Nix, and Jackson Dart, what specifically separates him from them, in your opinion? I mean, Drake May to me is clearly number one. You guys know how much I love Drake May. In terms of like if I'm looking at quarterbacks when they're coming out of the draft, I wasn't as crazy about Jackson Dart. I was not crazy about Bo Nix. If I'm grading QBs based on me, I actually think I would probably put Mendoza above Bo and Jackson when they were coming out. You got to give Bo a lot of credit. He's gotten better and better with Sean Payton. It's clearly a good fit for him there. Jackson Dart has shown some ups, shown some downs. He was electric in that game against us, and that was a hell of a football game. To me, what separates him from a guy like Bo and Dart, it's he can throw accurately on all levels of the field. I think Bo and Dart are more athletic than he is. I actually think Drake May's probably more athletic. May, to me's got a stronger arm. Mendoza's got a stronger arm than Bo. I think he's got a stronger arm than Dart, though. I think it's probably pretty similar. I don't know if separates is the right word. I would look at it as like, what does Mendoza do that helped Bo Nix and Drake May get into the AFC championship game? And I think Drake May and Bo Nix are good processors when it's put in front of them the right way. Like, May to me's the most different one out of all these guys. But Bo Nix can be good in structure. And Mendoza's also going to be a young quarterback that needs to have structure. But when you're accurate the way that he is, and you get put into the right system, like, again, think about how great Mendoza is throwing at back shoulder balls. Brock Bowers is unbelievable on that back shoulder throw. Wow. There's a lot of buzz right now around Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator, going to Pittsburgh. Interesting. All right, hey, I'll say this, man. If that ends up happening, I don't know where Shula then might end up going to Baltimore. That could really switch it up. I'll tell you this right now. If you're a Raider fan, you should want Weaver to go to Baltimore. Never get fired. Yeah, true. Oh, man. Loyal. Yeah, that's what we were trying to do, man. We were trying to be a little bit more interactive today. We wanted to do something a little bit different. Again, like I don't want to do the same show over and over and over again, and I thought this would be fun. Thoughts on Minter head coach Webb OC combo? I mean, you want to know what a slam dunk looks like? An alley-oop? That's what a slam dunk alley-oop looks like. John, Mitch, why are you on today? Did we sign a coach? No. I used to, like, in the off season when I'm off Friday and Saturday, I usually go live on Thursdays for a little Raiders Report happy hour. And, again, like, I don't mind doing the happy hour stuff. I'm essentially going to do shows this year more in regards to I'm going to put the ball in your court. If you guys want to do happy hour, we're going to do happy hour. But Thursdays for me, I want them to be a little bit more interactive where it's kind of like laid back and we put the ball in your court a little bit more. And, again, just do something a little bit different. So if you guys enjoyed today's Thursday show, I think we're going to start doing a lot more Thursday shows like this. All right, we got Devin Lloyd and Tariq Woolen. So the only way you're going to be able to get anybody else. Bayou, again, you've been the MVP today. We are 1.5 bangs away from happy hour. So if somebody throws down that alley-oop that's up there with Devin Lloyd or Tariq Woolen, the pick is yours. If you want John Franklin Myers or Odafe Owe, I'm going to need a bang, a full-on bang. We're tied right now. I mean, we are very, very much tied right now. Bayou, what would you go with here, man? What would you go with? Daniel said Lloyd had 47% of the vote. That's 100 points. Tariq Woolen, the poll to me is a little bit strange just because we added Woolen a little bit later. So I'm going to wait to see what the MVP of today's show, Bayou Raider, has to say. But I do see a lot of twos. I see James Hahn. I see Ginkin. I see Damian Hunter. Jacob Harvey. Manuel says we need a nucleus at that linebacker position. You're definitely not wrong. Sounds good. Big money, DeBold. Let's go with 2. Let's go with Devin Lloyd. Well, I think that seals it up. Oh, man. Bayou off the backboard. Bang! Come on, Bayou. We are one bang away. Shout out to Big Money DeBod for throwing it off the backboard and Bayou slamming it down. I mean, today's show has been presented by Bayou Raider, man. Unbelievable. Bayou, I'll say this. You are one bang away from the theoretical gong. And if you end up getting to that bang, for those that do not know, in the year of 2026, instead of just hitting a gong, one thing I want to be able to do this year is every time somebody bangs 5 times, gets the 25 XP, however you want to call it, I'm going to put you in a raffle. In that raffle, you're going to have the opportunity to hang out with me for a weekend. So it's either I go to you, you come here. But right now, we got a bunch of people that are already in this trip raffle. Everybody from Mount Raidermore, Venthrak, Navman, Yoda, LCA, Alex McGuire, Jacob Taylor, Donta Grill. Got a bunch of LA, Jerry Danley, Suave. Got a bunch of people in there already. Bunch of people in there already. I think you had, yeah, okay. I think you're already about to do it. So, because, shout out to Bayou for trading away Geno Smith, we have extra money. And you know what I want to do? We're going to sign not one, but we're going to be able to sign, you think 2 is going to be too complicated? Let's just sign 1. Okay, well, how about this? Let's put 4 up there, and then we'll do it again. So, I trust you. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe we should only do 4 options. I trust you. Why not is crazy, dude. Well, we're doing happy hour. I hope you know. I mean, geez Louise, bro. Crazy. All right, whatever you want to do, I'm ready. We could do, oh, okay. I like this. What side of the ball do we sign next? Offense or defense? Okay. 1 through 5. Here, you say it.
Whoever wins the poll, if it's offense, every offensive player up there gets 100 points. If it's defense, every defensive player up there gets 100 points. So we need y'all in the chat. And if you are very, very swayed on one person, you can super chat whichever one of these guys to give them some extra points. But this is going to be the one where our data scraper needs you to type in 1 through 5. So which guy do you want?
And I will say, because Bayou Raider traded away Geno Smith, I think we can get 2 of these guys. We're going to have an additional $26 million to spend. So I think the top 2 people in this, that's who we're going to get. The top 2 people, that's who I want to go get. This is interesting to me. I don't want to give away what I would do because I don't want to sway it, but yeah, that sounds good. I'm seeing right now 53% for offense, 47% for defense. It's very, very, very close. Speaking of getting me close. Bayou Raider! Bang! Bayou, I'm telling you this right now. I've put it out there that whoever wins the 2026 raffle, I'll let them pick whether they come here or I go there. I'm not letting you pick. I'm going to Louisiana. I've never been there. Are we going Nolans? Nah, you can pick. Bro, I mean, I'll tell you this right now. It's one of the top spots I want to be able to go. Also, one of my biggest, one of my go-to guys in Vegas. He went to college down there. I might be able to convince him to go. What?
Breaking news! Mac Hollins designated to return this week for the New England Patriots.
That's huge. Will he be wearing shoes? I don't know. Will he be wearing shoes? I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. Well, that's what I mean. He locked in Lloyd. Locked it in. What up, Raider JC? Looks like the worst we can do, the big picture, is take McDaniels from the Chargers. I don't think it's the worst we could do. I think the worst we could do is hire Vance Joseph or Matt Nagy. And I'm telling you right now, if we hired Vance Joseph or Matt Nagy, I don't know what I would do, man. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably leave Spytek a very interesting voicemail. Raider Rob, Minter is DC. Leonard, Falcons offensive line, Kubiak is coach. I mean, Minter's not going to be our DC, so it's not going to happen. Sheffy, Mal Raidermore, cut that mofo. I hate you giving you the finger. Yeah, I mean, Geno, luckily we traded him, though, Sheffy. We got the extra 26 mil. Niners, Bears fans in my ear about 98. What's the deal? There is no deal. It's just people. So I literally saw an account. I literally commented on it on Instagram. And they go, it's something like, Bears, it's somebody from the Bears, it was Ryan Poles, didn't turn down the idea of trading for Max Crosby. He gets asked, like, what about Max Crosby for the Raiders? And he was just like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding you. I literally commented on the post. I'm like, this is an embarrassing post. Like, it was a joke. Caleb Tarr, this is so fun. Love y'all. Fernando Lorian. Shout out to my guy, Caleb, dude. All right, so we got it's a very, very interesting battle. I see a lot of 4s for David Edwards, which though I actually think that we didn't put the right guy on here. I wonder if we should have put Linderbaum on here. I totally forgot about Linderbaum. I'll be honest, I thought y'all were going to pick Linderbaum. Offenses clearly has the lead. So Chugs is saying our data scraper says Woolen has the most comments, but since the votes came in for Shaheed, and we got one in there for Edwards, because offense is there. Fiend said, wait, which team took Geno? No, in our perfect offseason, we were able to trade away Geno. No team actually did it. No team actually did it. I would say this, since we're already this deep into it, if you want Linderbaum, okay, I like that. We didn't get him first. The Giants decided, you know what, we're going to give you 20 mil. So we missed out on Linderbaum. That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes. Second day of free agency. The tampering period. Also, that means Bayou, you're going to go home with my Raiders report at. Unless somebody takes down Bayou for the MVP, which I don't know if it's going to happen. I guess I should ask, do you want me to sign it or do you not want me to sign it? I can sign it on the inside, but I don't want to get on your... I'm going to sign it. Shout out to Bayou, man. All right, Raider Roman, I just got laid off from work, but it's okay because now I get to watch Mitch and Chugs all day without having to act like I'm working. Maybe it's because you watch us. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, again, man, I'll say this. My wife, she went through something really unfortunate. I won't get into all the details here, but I do think, like, everything happens for a reason. Her new job that she just got yesterday, we went out, we celebrated. It is 10 times better of a job. It's such an awesome opportunity. She's ecstatic. And again, man, I think everything happens for a reason. So keep your head up. If it means you got to watch more Raiders sport, it's not a bad thing. Big Money Dad Bod, shout out to you. Raider Mitch, I like Denzel Boston from Washington as a wide receiver in the draft. Could slip to us in the second. 6'4", 209, known for his size, strong contested catch ability, physical play, and excellent blocking. You're a fan? Okay.
One of my buddies down here, he does a lot of draft content as well. here in the Dallas area. He actually said Denzel Boston, he had a round 1 grade on.
Okay. I'll do a little bit of homework on him. Raider John, shout out to you for showing up. Nico, a center isn't worth $25 million a year. A right tackle is. Also, have you seen Sanjit's breakdown of Linderbaum? Not that it turned me off on him 100%, but still, I have not seen it. You guys know I really respect Sanjit's breakdown of offensive linemen, so maybe that's one of the reasons why we didn't go out and get him on today's show. I'll say this. I think he's really, really good run blocker. Like, I would be shocked if I turned on the tape and I saw bad run blocking from Linderbaum. I'll check it out, though, because you guys know I really like Sanjit. Right. I think he's one of the best in the biz for offensive line.
All right, so it's, once again, either up to Bayou or if somebody sends up an alley-oop, you can choose between Shaheed, Edwards, or Woolen.
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? So how about this? Let's go with Rashid Shaheed because we did get that one super chat.
We did from
and it was close. I think we can go with Rashid Shaheed.
We got it from Real Cowboy. Okay.
Unless Bayou's like, no, I don't want that. And I'll tell you this right now. Though, do we need Shaheed? We already have Alec Pierce.
Turn man.
I mean, bro. I mean, that offense would be with Alec Pierce, Shaheed.
Also, Woolen, you might need him more than Shaheed.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I don't know if I want to do that.
It's
up to y'all.
It's up to y'all.
It's up to y'all.
Mitch, it's not about what you want today.
I know. You're right. You're right. That's on me.
Appreciate that, Crash Dog. Oh, he said let Gunny pick. All right. The MVP has spoken, so Gunny, let us know in the chat. Do you want Shaheed, Edwards, or Woolen?
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? O-line, cornerback. Seeing a lot of 4s, though. I don't know if Gunny – I saw Gunny was here earlier.
No, he just super chatted, so he's here.
Okay.
Gunny.
What do you want, Gunny?
Who do you want? Shaheed, Edwards, or Woolen? Let us know.
I know what I want.
Tell me what you want. What you really want.
I know what I want.
Oh!
He's protected Fernando. That's the right answer, Gunny. Not that I'm saying this right now. I forgot about Pierce. So I was happy.
Guard, right?
He's a left guard. So that means this. Our Raiders offensive line, Colton Miller, David Edwards, JPJ. We got to then figure out what we got at right guard. Maybe DJ Glaze. Do you put Charles Grant there? You got Braden Smith at right tackle. And now.
That's a good O-line. Braden Smith and you get David Edwards.
It's a very good O-line.
That's beefing up the front. Hey, that's a heady move there by
my guy
Crash
Gunny.
Dog.
By my guy Gunny. So we got David Edwards.
This one might get a little pretentious.
This is where it's going to get interesting here. This is where it's going to get interesting. Though I do think, based on the money, like I know we got that extra $26 million from Geno. I'm telling you this right now. I was like, maybe we could sign another player. I don't know if we're going to have the money. Because Edwards, to me, I don't think Edwards might get 20 mil on the market because he's one of the top guards out there. But maybe like 15 to 20. Lloyd, I think, is going to get close to 18 to 20. Pierce, I think, is easily going to get 20, 21. Braden Smith, I honestly think, is going to get 20 mil. So, I mean, right there on screen alone, that's 80 mil. Where are we? So, can you go back to the other one, too? I'm sorry. The other list 5, the first one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to see what else we got. So right now our perfect offseason, this is very interesting. So we got Clint Kubiak, Clay Kubiak, Rob Leonard is our DC. We re-signed Eric Stokes. So we got Stokes, Darian Porter, traded away Geno Smith. And now we got Braden Smith, Alec Pierce, Devin Lloyd, and David Edwards. I like this, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I like this a lot. This is looking good. So obviously now it's time to draft. But let's have a little bit of fun. What are we going to do with the number 1 overall pick? Are we going to take Fernando Mendoza? Are we going to trade back for a huge haul? I'm going to say 4 first-round picks. 4 first-round picks. Or are we going to trade for Lamar Jackson? Y'all pick. Y'all pick. What are we doing? What are we doing? What could possibly happen here? This is going to be interesting. Where are we going? FM for Mendoza, T for trade back, LJ for Lamar Jackson. What are we going with? What are we going with? Big Raz, us fans aren't as dumb as everyone says we are. That's because we've had to critique this team more than our coaches have. John, Raiders better sign a legit backup for Genty. If he goes down, it's another 2025 season. I think no matter what, you got to sign and you got to draft somebody. And again, because right now, Mostert and White, Zeus, are all free agents. That means Laube, Chris Collier, and Genty are the only backs on this team. So if it was up to me, I would go out and I would sign a running back, and I would also draft one. Because I don't want to have to rely on Chris Collier, and I don't want to have to rely on Dylan Laube. And the reason why you definitely draft a back is because of the money investment. I actually drafted a running back in my latest mock draft, which went out this morning, if there's anybody out there that wants to go check it out. I think this one's pretty close to Fernando Mendoza. Mando, people saying JPJ is too aggressive to play center. He just wants to hit people, sometimes doesn't pay attention to the calls. I'm good with him as a right guard. See, to me, I think people make up things that aren't always able to show up on tape. I think when you watch JPJ play center, he's a hell of a center. It definitely depends what type of offense you want to run, but the number one reason why I want JPJ to play center is because when you win at that initial point and you want to play FU football with a back like Genty, it does make a lot of sense. The other thing is this. He wants to play center. I think when you have a guy that so clearly believes that he can play center, that wants to play center, I'm not saying that he's not happy playing guard, but I'm pretty... If you want the best and happiest version of JPJ, I think you play him at center. We'll see. Raider John, are there rumors regarding Kubiak not being a good leader of men in the locker room? I mean, there might be rumors, but I don't really know how you know that, because I'll say this. I talked to a player. I've talked to a player that hasn't worked directly with Kubiak, so I guess I should say that. But he was somebody on Seattle, and he's told me that all of his friends and all of his buddies that are also currently on Seattle have said nothing but good things. And, you can take that for what it's worth, but I think sometimes you got to wait and see what it is. I don't know how you really don't know who's a good leader of men and who's not until you see it in action. It's kind of the unfortunate part. But, I look at a guy like Kubiak, not exactly like Ben Johnson, because I do think Johnson is a whole nother level. But Kubiak, to me, is an outstanding play caller. And you can be a dick all you want to be, but if you can call plays and you win games, people don't really care as much. Cowboy, yeah, we're definitely behind. Shaheed, great returner as well. Mando, yep, special teams demon, born a Raider fan. What team hires their next head coach? I think it's the Browns. Problem with the Browns is they're getting turned down left and right. I actually think it might be Buffalo. The reason why I say Buffalo, it's because Dable's kind of given that, not really an ultimatum, but it's basically like, hey, I'm either going to be your head coach or I'm going to go be the OC of the Titans. Taylor Made Dad, what's going on, man? Lamar's retweet makes a lot of sense. We were never really in the mix for Harbaugh. We had Lamar, don't mix anymore. I agree with your earlier video. Restructure Lamar, trade back for more picks, fill the holes that we have. So also, I don't know if you saw the other thing, though, Lamar said. So you got to watch. I'm guessing you watched the full video. But if you didn't see Lamar Jackson, he retweeted a tweet and it's of a kid. in a Lamar jersey. He's holding a Raiders football. And then he ended up, like, going underneath it and tweeting, like, oh, shit, I didn't even see what it said. So I think Lamar's going to stay in Baltimore. Gunny, if you guys don't know, go to saveawarrior.org/donate. Tell them Father Tom sent you. My brother Bayou is on a heater, and I want to thank him for presenting Save a Warrior to his employer for a corporate donation. SaveAWarrior.org for veterans and first responders struggling. So wait a minute. I want to thank him for presenting Save a Warrior to his employer for a corporate donation. Well, here we are. Bingo, bango, breaking news. The Baltimore Ravens are hiring Jesse Minter to be their head coach. I'm going to hop off here real quick, and I'm going to make it short. Is that okay? And I'll just put it out there, and I'll have them put it out. But the breaking news is in. Jesse Minter has just been hired by the Baltimore Ravens. So I guess to answer that last question, I think it might be Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's Baltimore.
I think it's Baltimore.
Real Cowboy, how long will you go live if the Raiders trade Geno? I don't think they're trading him. Probably it'd be a fun live, though. Crash, what up, fam? This is a cool show, having the nation weigh in. Great job, boys. And speaking of that, I think it is crystal clear. It's Mendoza. Mendoza is the pick at number 1. So appreciate that, Crash Dog. Probably haven't seen me as much this show because I've been doing everything in the background, trying to get all the polls and get everything updated. But we have finished our perfect offseason by selecting Fernando Mendoza. Marsh, this is actually a perfect time for you to weigh in. I'm going to go through the Raider Nation perfect offseason.
Well, I'm just a little confused. I thought the Raiders had the best head coach opening, best team for a head coach, and they still don't have one, and all the coaches they wanted are going
they're
other
holding
places.
they're holding out for Coobs.
It's Kubiak now.
Look at the perfect offseason.
Okay, I thought it was Minter.
No, it's Coobs. It's always been Coobs.
Oh, it's never been Minter.
No, it's never been Minter. It's Coobs no matter what.
Coobs or bust?
Yeah. Coobs or we're busting.
Is Rebel Montana going to – never mind.
He's in the chat right now. He just said Marsh.
What up, Rebs?
All right, so grade the perfect offseason for the Raiders. You can grade it too, Marsh. Head coach, Clint Kubiak.
Nepotism.
Yep, Nepo.
The Nepo Raiders.
Hey.
Put it on a shirt.
If it ain't broke. Clay Kubiak, OC.
Who's Rob Leonard?
Rob Leonard is the Raiders' defensive line coach. They chose him over Raheem Morris as the DC.
Then why is that perfect?
This is their perfect. Dude, your channel, New York Giants TV said, how did Marshall get here?
I'm typing. We signed one player, Eric Stokes. Geno Smith traded. Signed Brandon Smith, Alec Pierce, Devin Lloyd, David Edwards, and does that say trade for Lamar Jackson?
No, it says Fernando Mendoza.
Oh, I thought Lamar was a Raider.
No, Lamar's not a Raider. That was fake news.
Wait, so Lamar's not a Raider, Mentor's not a Raider. Is Crosby a Raider?
Yes, Raider for life.
I heard he's a Bear.
No, he's Wooman to Tooman.
I heard he's a Bear.
You heard wrong.
Oh, okay.
From what Mitch said. But go down and grade a lot of A's.
Get this guy out of here.
Boo. Boo.
Hey, y'all were right though. Raiders have the best job possible.
Now, before you go,
okay.
How do we like Minter to the Ravens? Do you like that mix with Minter and possibly Lamar Jackson?
You know what? I'm a little disappointed in Jesse Minter. He came up under the Harbaugh bros, and the fact that you're willing to replace the Harbaugh bros makes me wonder if you were ever bros.
Dude, is he? I mean, he's not only replacing one, he's leaving another.
Like, how would you feel if you and Danny had a divorce and then me and Danny got together? We wouldn't be bros.
I'd want to be the best man. Who's this clown? Oh, wow. Who's this clown? That was our Giants host, Marshall Green. That is Evil Mitch. Let me know down below, though. Grade y'all's perfect offseason. This was a perfect offseason for Raider Nation by Raider Nation. So let me know down below in the comment section. For real. Who is that guy? That's our Giants host, Marshall Green. Let me know down below, A, B, C, D, or F. I'll show you the first half once again. It was Clint Kubiak, head coach. Clay Kubiak, OC. Rob Leonard, DC. We re-signed Eric Stokes. You traded Geno Smith. I mean, even for that, I think it's at least a B if you're able to trade Geno Smith. Braden Smith, the Colts right tackle. Y'all went ahead and got him. Wide receiver, Alec Pierce, the Colts wide receiver. Y'all went out and got him. Devin Lloyd, the top linebacker. Y'all got him from the Jacksonville Jags. And then David Edwards, left guard of the Buffalo Bills. Y'all went out and signed him as well. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm seeing A's from Max, Raider Nation. A lot of A's. Sports Dude. F from Javier. You don't mean that. B from Sika. B from Seth. And if you're just now joining us, we do have some breaking news. Breaking. The Ravens are hiring Jesse Minter. Breaking news. The Ravens have hired Jesse Minter as their next head coach. Let me know down below. Are you upset that Jesse Minter is no longer in play for the Las Vegas Raiders? Let me know down below. Are you upset? No, I want Kubiak. Let me know. Give me a Y for yes, in for no. Jesse Minter has accepted the position of Ravens head coach. Breaking news here. Mitch went to go make a quick short video for his social media and for the channel. So let me know. I see no. A lot of no's. I don't think I've seen a yes. Are you upset? Not upset from Esteban. Who's left? That's a great question. Great question. The other three top names that Mitch had, which it was Clint Kubiak, Mike LaFleur, and Davis Webb. So I'm going to ask you, those are the top three really remaining names, I would say, for the Raiders. So I'm going to ask you. These are probably the top three names remaining. Let me know down below. I mean, y'all already picked Clint Kubiak earlier. I'm guessing it's KK, but go down and pick a head coach. Is it Kubiak? Davis Webb would be a dark horse, the quarterback coach for the Broncos. I've heard a lot of good around Davis Webb. Or Mike LaFleur from the LA Rams. Let me know down below. Not upset, just hungry from Rebel. Hungry for a win or hungry for some actual food? Let me know. I'm assuming we're getting Kubiak now. It's just flooded with Clint Kubiaks. Flooded with Clint Kubiaks. Let's see. I'm seeing some DWs, but mostly KKs. Mostly KKs. And once again, if you're just now joining us, the breaking news, the reason why Mitch had to step out for a second, Jesse Minter has just been named the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens did their last head coaching interview today with Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, who is now a potential OC candidate for Baltimore, as Jesse Minter now will fill out his staff. Very interesting. And that means the Chargers will now have 2 new coordinators this year. They already filled one of them with Mike McDaniel, possibly. Pete Porker said, give me the Indiana head coach. I don't think he's leaving. Enrique, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, we talked about the other. I mean, you're literally proving our point, Enrique. If you watch, Mitch literally said, if it's not the Raiders, Jesse Minter's going to the Ravens. So either you don't listen good or you don't watch, because that's literally what Mitch said was, if Minter doesn't go to the Raiders, he's going to the Ravens. So either you're not smart or you don't listen. It's one of the two. But it can be both. It can be both. We're also doing a duck race at the end of today's show. $20 Venmo to enter at Mitchell Renz 365. As it stands right now, I know Mitch has some more names to put in there, but the winner would get $120. Yeah, I mean, he literally said, Enrique, as soon as the Ravens fired Harbaugh, he said that is the #1 Minter destination. So like I said, either you're slow or you don't listen. One of the two.
All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to step out real quick. Obviously, the news just happened. Minter to Baltimore. I put it out on social media.
Hey, you use this up here, Enrique.
Well, no, I don't know what you guys are talking about here. But
he's saying that basically you're a liar, that you said Minter's going to the Raiders. And I said, that's not true.
I mean, I said the Raiders were interested in Minter, which was obviously the case. But
Enrique, you're obviously in our chat, so if you think you can do better, go make a channel. Enrique?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally think we covered the Minter news very well. Now, I can be biased in that. I think that, still at the end of the day, like, he wasn't my top candidate for the Raiders. Kubiak's always been #1. I mean, he is subscribed. You can't comment unless you're subscribed. But I would say if you followed the show over since Baltimore has fired John Harbaugh, I think we pretty confidently said that the only job that Minter would take over to the Raiders was Baltimore. Today, Minter, turned down the interview with the Browns, which means the only 2 teams that he interviewed with were the Las Vegas Raiders and, the Baltimore Ravens. But, I mean, I would say for a few weeks we've been saying, like, yeah, I think Minter's probably going to end up going to the Baltimore Ravens.
If you don't have your real name as your username, I don't want to hear the talk mess, because you're just a troll warrior who's typing behind the keyboards in your mom's basement. So
just
if you ain't got your real name as your username, sorry, I can't take you seriously.
All right, y'all. So let's just get back to having a good time.
But
here.
I did say now that Minter is gone.
I mean, I think now it's clear as day. It's Clint Kubiak, Davis Weber, Mike LaFleur. And I think if you're, again, to me, Clint was the #1 candidate that I wanted way back, when we first started talking about, hey, man, Pete Carroll's going to end up getting fired. So because we figured that was going to end up happening, again, we knew Pete was going to be gone. I think the only part that's a little bit frustrating for me personally around the Minter news is I know what I was told, like what the Raiders' plan would have been with Minter, and I know Minter really believes in building the trenches, so I was like, oh, like that plan makes a lot of sense to me. Minter, Michigan guy, Spytech, Michigan guy, Brady, Michigan guy, so like the plan made sense. But again, I want to be very clear. I mean, I've always said Clint's been my #1 candidate for the Las Vegas Raiders. So, again, like this is why, though, I want people to hit that subscribe button. To me personally, I thought that we covered the Minter news and rumors extremely well. Again, you're going to get people that come in and say what they want to say. I would just say that they didn't watch my show, don't watch our show, and that's fine. But right now, as it stands, Raiders, Browns, Steelers, Cardinals, and Bills are the teams that are left. To be able to find their next head coach. And luckily for the Raiders, This is going to be fun, man. That tells me that we're going to go with an offensive-minded coach. We're going to go with an offensive-minded coach. So shout out to all y'all, all the real ones out there that always pull up here, that always have a good time. And I'll say this, man. I want to give a special shout out to our Chat Sports team. They have been spot on, and I mean spot on, with all of the hirings that have gone down. Like, we put out the video we did last week. I would say the only one that we haven't gotten right was Saleh going to the Titans. But every single other head coaching job, I mean, we've gotten 100% right. So it was sick. It was sick. To Savage, I'm just going to say this, man, and to anybody out there, again, we're all family here. If we're going to be weird, let's just go be weird somewhere else. I'm not trying to do anything here. I'm just trying to have a good time. I want to be able to keep the good vibes going. So if you guys want to participate in our happy hour, shout out to Bayou Raider. Shout out to all of y'all. And again, if you want to ask any questions to me about Minter, about our Raiders head coaching search, again, I'm confidently going to stand up here and say I believe that we've been covering Minter and where he's going to go very, very well on this show. And if you think otherwise, I'm sorry. Just tell me why then, you think that way, and we'll talk about it. That's what the show's about. Ed Robbins, trade for Lamar, 2026 second and a 2027 first. I don't think that's nearly enough, Ed. Again, like to me, if you're going to go out and trade for a 2-time, 3-time NFL MVP, it's going to be 2 to 3 first-round picks at minimum. And I know if I had Lamar Jackson, now the only thing that might help out the Raiders is his $74.5 million cap hit. $74.5 million in back-to-back years. Not many teams can take that on. And then you also have to restructure that contract. So we got 58 minutes left to happy hour. If you don't know how Raiders Report happy hour goes, well, I need you to listen up here. I do think, though, real quick, I'm going to update can you update or I guess I can, the title? Can you just put Minter in there somewhere in the title?
Yeah.
We could probably get rid of the fan-led perfect offseason and just get Minter in there. So today, we're doing a Mendoza happy hour. And again, shout out to Bayou Raider. We're going to be giving away a Fernando Mendoza jersey at the end of today's show. If you want a chance to win that jersey in 57 minutes, 42 seconds, $5 super chat, you get one raffle ticket. If you want the opportunity to get more raffle tickets, $20 is probably going to be the best deal on today's program. If you throw up an alley-oop, I'm going to give you 15 tickets. If somebody throws down that alley-oop, then I got to chug a beer. Every bang that goes down today on the program, every time you hear me say bang, that means I got to crack open a beer. It's happy hour style here on the Raiders Report. So let's go through. Let's answer some questions. There's a lot to talk about with the breaking news of the Baltimore Ravens hiring Jesse Minter to be their next head coach. The moment Baltimore fired Harbaugh, I think, we kind of knew where that was going to go. I know, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, the first time I heard Minter's name from the Raiders was probably in early December. And then the moment Harbaugh ended up getting fired, I sat up here on this show and I said, even before Harbaugh got fired, the number one team that could steal Minter away from the Las Vegas Raiders was the Baltimore Ravens. And it ended up going down that way. It definitely sucks because I do know that was somebody that the Raiders were very interested in. But also at the end of the day, if you wanted the Raiders to hire an offensive-minded head coach, I think the only defensive-minded coach that they would have went with would have been Jesse Minter. The interviews, I think, prove that. Now, I do believe that their attention is fully shifted on going out and getting an offensive-minded head coach to pair with their young rookie quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. So, we got a lot of questions, and I mean a lot of questions to be able to get to here because we got 55 minutes. 55 minutes of happy hour to get to, which I guess there is truly only one way to get happy hour started. Let's get it going. To all y'all out there that make this show possible, I love being able to hang out with y'all, talk a little bit of Raiders, have a good time. Cheers to each and every one of y'all.
Big Money Dead Bud!
Bang! Big Daddy Mud! Let's go. Just came here to bang, baby. He just came here to bang.
And Bayou, I know you hit your limit. I'm just going to give you 50 tickets as well for being the MVP today.
Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. Shout out to Bayou. Again, y'all, it's happy hour. What I used to do back in the day is today's my last day of the week. Technically, it's the 6th straight day I've worked. Not a big deal. I'm off, though, Friday and Saturday. We're supposed to get a crazy, crazy storm. So the final hour on my Thursday, Friday shows, we're going to do happy hour style if you want to have a beer with me to get the weekend kicked off, though I am leaving here in 54 minutes. Big Money Dad Bod, shout out to you.
Aramis Madrano says, Fernando, there was something in the air that night. The moon was bright.
Fernando. Hey, man, 2 raffle tickets for you, my guy. Let's go to TaylorMade Dad. We need to hire a coach ASAP. See, I don't think that that's the truth. Like, you hire a coach ASAP right now, you're not going to get Clint. You're not going to get Davis Webb. You're not going to get Mike LaFleur, because I think it's dumb as an organization for you to hire somebody that you don't interview in person. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the connections that we all have here, right, TaylorMade Dad? But think about how much different of a connection that, we would have, in all honesty, once you meet, you dap up and you meet somebody in person. Like, again, I've met so many people through this show that when you meet someone in person, it's just a little bit different. And if I'm a Raiders organization, the only way in hell I'm going to hire somebody to be the next head coach of my team is if I meet them in person. So the fact that you can't request to interview any coach that's playing this week, Clint Kubiak, Davis Webb, Mike LaFleur, you can't request to interview them until they're done after January 26th. You can interview coaches during the Pro Bowl week, by the way. So, that can be clear. But, you still have to interview those guys again. And when I look at the other head coach openings between the Browns, Steelers, Cardinals, and Bills, the only job in there where, again, we'll see what the Steelers do. I think Steelers personally are going to go the defensive route. Bills are probably going to go the offensive route, but it sounds like it's either Brian Dable or I could see Dable going back to Buffalo. The Bills would be a team that would scare me a little bit in terms of stealing away Clint Kubiak, but also at the same time, I could see Buffalo promoting Joe Brady. And if I was the Bills, I would call up Josh Allen and I would say, hey, Josh, what would you want? I'd be like, what would you want? Would you want to work with somebody like Brady, Dable? I actually think Allen would probably pick one of those 2 guys over somebody along the lines of a Clint Kubiak. But I really don't think that we're going to get stuck with guys that nobody wanted. And again, because to me, and I'm being real with y'all, I had Mike LaFleur as a top 5 coach. Clint Kubiak was my number 1 overall coach. I didn't really have Davis Webb on my radar. Based on what I've heard, I would like Davis Webb to be the head coach of the Raiders. To me, there are still 3 candidates that confidently I would sit up here and I would get really fired up about. The moment that some of those start to go, then it's a little bit of a different conversation. But in all honesty, I'm not hitting the panic button on the fact that we didn't get Jesse Minter. Again, I had Kubiak ranked higher than Minter. Kubiak I've wanted more than Minter. I just thought that Minter was going to be the guy that we were going to go out and get. But as soon as Baltimore fired Harbaugh, I think anybody that watches this show knows I've been saying I think that he's going to end up going to Baltimore now.
And anybody who watches this show knows that we love Prize Picks.
We do love Prize Picks. Get $50 when you play 5 over at America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. My wife never watched football. Then we started playing on Prize Picks, and now she's talking to me about who she's picking for her lineup. It's exciting and gets us all more amped for watching the game. This is the last time you're going to have to hear about Prize Picks on today's show. America's biggest sporting event is coming up. The big game is almost here, and it's always good to feel right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season out the right way with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. If you want to see my 4-pick power play for the Patriots and Broncos game, it's right up there on screen. And if you want to follow me on Prize Picks, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. Shout out to my guy, Big Raz, for always showing up and showing out. Yoda Jenkins for always showing up and showing out. And then Robert Jansen. I appreciate all of y'all for showing love to Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's go, Lil Watts. What up, Lil Watts? I like Pierce, but with how stacked the wide receiver class is next year, cheap, prove-it deal with Ayuk. I know he can be a diva. That's why it's a one-year deal.
He literally went AWOL.
Bro, like, I mean, if you follow the whole Ayuk story, like Chug said, he went AWOL. He literally did. Like, there's no chance in hell I'm interested in
Kyle
Brandon Ayuk.
Shanahan said he's been texting him for a month. No responses.
Yeah, with all due respect, I think the opposite of what you want to do as an organization is bring in somebody who clearly doesn't love football. Like, to me, if I'm going to draft Fernando Mendoza, I want to have players that I can rely on because of how big of an investment you are in making with Fernando Mendoza. If you trust Brandon Ayuk right now to get the most out of Mendoza, you got a lot. I mean, I don't know, like, you got a lot more trust than I do personally in him. To me, though, you have to make sure that the receiver that you bring in makes a lot of sense. And the other reason why, again, like, I don't want to do this, like, we have the money to spend. If we were, like, trying to penny pinch, it's a different conversation. But, man, you got top 2 money in salary cap space. Go out and get him a veteran receiver that you compare with some of these other younger guys and get it going. I mean, Ayuk, the last time we saw Ayuk play, he was horrific also. He got paid, and he cashed it in. And he hasn't given a flying flip in 2 years. I loved Ayuk, and I am fully out on him. Let's go to Noah Peters. Does the Minter signing mean Lamar is staying? I actually don't really think that it has any impact at all. Like, the Baltimore Ravens chose, in my personal opinion, Lamar Jackson over Harbaugh. And I feel like that we said that pretty clear on this show. I don't think the Minter move has anything to do with Lamar Jackson. And I don't think Baltimore's going to move on from Lamar. I think that they're going to keep him. He's happy that he's going to be there. I know, like, the whole tweet thing earlier today was pretty funny, but Lamar literally said, he's like, I didn't see with the caption. I just saw a young kid wearing my jersey. Jim, what's going on, dude? I got my main right here, and Chugs is losing his shit. Love you, Chugs. Yeah, again, like, I get it. You know, I saw people, like, yelling at me, yelling at Chugs. Yeah, it's both ways. What the number one most frustrating thing, I think, for what we do is when people ignore everything that we say that's right and point out one thing that we said, you know, that, again, I thought Jesse Minter was the number one coach that was going to be the Raiders. But I said that weeks ago. Like, you know, there's a lot of it.
Before the Ravens job.
Yeah, and then the Ravens job opened. And I would say since the Ravens job's open, we've been saying that the number one spot Minter is going to go to Baltimore. So, like, for us, and maybe this is, you know, again, this is on us, but we deal with trolls all the time. And sometimes you just kind of get fed up into, like, the whole troll thing, which, honestly, I try not to feed into it because I know it's, like, what they do. And I know anybody that's a troll is probably unhappy with their own life, and it's just the truth, right? Like, the more and more people you meet, successful people want to bring other people up. If it's a troll, they're just probably not happy with their own life. Josh, does this mean Lamar stays? Again, I don't think Lamar was ever going to go anywhere.
Oh, this is a good question.
And is McDermott a person we consider, or is Kubiak the guy now? I mean, I wouldn't mind if the Raiders considered Sean McDermott. Again, like, when you kind of get into the whole crux of, like, that Buffalo presser was ugly. I don't know if y'all saw that Buffalo presser. Dude, they were throwing people under the bus left and right. And in my experience covering the NFL, when you see people throwing people under the bus like that, it's because they're trying to save face. So I do really, truly wonder, like, how much did Sean McDermott have a certain impact on certain things? Because he's a defensive-minded coach. So do you really want your defensive-minded coach making all these calls on the offensive side of the football in regards to Keon Coleman? I don't necessarily know. But, like, would I be upset if McDermott was hired? No. Is he somebody that I think makes a lot of sense for this organization right now? I don't really know if that's the route. I've said it 100 times. I want a young, innovative, young offensive-minded head coach. And now where we are right now, I think if you have the opportunity to get Kubiak, you go get Kubiak. If Kubiak goes elsewhere and you're debating between Mike LaFleur and Davis Webb, then that's where I put Sean McDermott into the conversation. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to make Kubiak know and understand, hey, you're the apple of my eye. Hey, you're the person I want to marry. And until that goes dead, to me, it's got to be Kubiak now. Like, you got to be focused in on him.
Is Khalil Mack a Raven?
I mean, maybe. I mean, Khalil Mack's gone to a bunch of different teams. Nick, what's going on, dude? Please no Lamar, way too expensive. Use that money to draft and build around Mendoza. Could build a better offense that way. Also, would love to see McDaniel running the offense as a head coach. I mean, you guys know how much I like Mike McDaniel, but I just don't see him being the next head coach of the Raiders. Like, I think he's going to be the next OC with the Chargers. I think his whole, if I get hired as a head coach, I'll take that job. If I don't, I'm going to be the OC to the Chargers. I actually think that that's a little bit of an FU move, but it's a smart FU move by his part because he did the Raiders interview, and then the whole thing with the whole Chargers thing came out. The Raiders interview was an OC interview based on what I've understood. So, like, I agree with you in terms of no on Lamar. I'd rather go Mendoza. But again, like, I think Raider fans are crazy to not want Lamar Jackson. You get Lamar Jackson and we're instantly a playoff contender. Now, I don't know what that window looks like. Like, to me, if you go out and get Lamar, you better win a Super Bowl. And I know it's a crazy thing to say, but in my mind, you trade for Lamar Jackson, you better go win a damn Super Bowl. Or you look at your roster and go, yeah, we just got too many pieces. We're too far away from winning the Super Bowl, which I agree with. And if we can build this team in 3 years from now to be a Super Bowl contender when we still have our quarterback on a rookie contract, like, that play takes longer, but it makes more sense. And I think it makes more sense to a lot of people. Oliver Rodriguez.
This was fake news.
Did you see Mark Cuban say, yeah, I was going to say that's fake.
It was a fake Twitter account that posted that Cuban's going to pay him $40 million to stay.
Yeah, it's funny that Mark Cuban actually doesn't spend a lot of money at Indiana.
Oh, he did this year.
Well, he did this year, but I don't know if it's $40 million.
Oh, no.
One of the things Cignetti...
Well, and he's donating to just the NIL fund in general.
Correct. Cignetti also made it clear that they were not getting as much money as what people thought they were getting. He said that in his presser. He goes, the NIL money, it's not nearly as much as what people say, which I think is Cignetti's way of being like, hey, let's spend a little bit more money on this NIL. John, get Javonte Williams and draft Price to help Genty.
Jadarian Price. I don't think you need to add 2 running backs, though.
See, I actually think they do. And
Really?
well, because your only running backs on your squad are Genty, Dylan Laube, and Chris
You
Collier.
have to draft Jadarian Price in the second.
I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. Like, to me, if you're going to draft a running back, you draft him in, like, the 6th round. I did a mock recently where I draft Hemby, the running back from Indiana, because I just need somebody, like, again, if I'm going to give out 25 touches a game, I want 19, 20 of those to go to Genty. Give me 5 to 6 to another running back, and then can I add somebody that can catch the football a little bit better? Because I just don't trust Collier, and I just don't trust Dylan Laube. Arbora, Mitch, if a team makes the Super Bowl, can we hire a coach from the team before the Super Bowl? You can hire a coach, but it's kind of uncommon for a coach to take a job until that team's done. So what's going to end up happening here is the Raiders, they can request to do their second interviews. Like, you're going to see second interview requests for Davis Webb, Mike LaFleur, and you're going to see one for Clint Kubiak after January 22nd.
The Browns. I mean, how bad is it to be a Browns fan? First, it was Jesse Minter. Now, according to Anthony Lima of a local Cleveland beat guy, said Chris Shula also turned down an interview today with the Browns to be their next head coach.
I mean, I don't blame people because that's a tough job. I also, what I'm about to say is going to piss people off, but it's the truth. A lot of Browns fans want Shedeur Sanders to be the quarterback. I think every time a coach turns down that job, it's that coach saying, I don't want Shedeur Sanders to be my quarterback. Because if you wanted Shedeur to be your quarterback, you'd be open to that job. And I think finding another quarterback is going to be difficult, and finding another quarterback and then having to deal with the Shedeur stuff,
Not only that,
it's
dealing
a
with
headache.
the owner.
Well, the owner's definitely a headache as well. No doubt about it. And then not only Shedeur, you're dealing with Deshaun. Like, if you talk about quarterback headache, the Cleveland Browns are the number 1 quarterback headache in the NFL. Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders is an NFL headache nightmare if you don't want those guys. Me personally, if I was taking a head coaching gig, I would not want Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders as my QBs. Sean Forbes, let's spin that wheel. Let's get the wheel spin going. We got 40 minutes left on happy hour here. And whatever this lands on is the tickets you end up getting. for a chance to win a Fernando Mendoza jersey. 15 tickets to my guy, Sean Forbes. Sean Forbes, I got you. Let's go Kubiak and Mendoza. Appreciate y'all. Love watching the show and supporting you. Raider Nation for life. Raiders! Sean Forbes. Cheers to you, my dog. Cheers to you.
At an A.
Adonai Ventura. What is your opinion on the idea of no division?
So this has been a
Like no divisions in the NFL?
Yeah, this has been a theory of, and
Sorry, I got time
and
out
I
too.
think it comes to fruition because everybody was mad that the Panthers made the playoffs over other teams.
Sure.
But this is just the idea of maybe not no division, but not having the division winner make the playoffs. Just the best 7 teams from the NFC, best 7 teams from the AFC. What are your thoughts on that, Mitch?
I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. Like, I do like division winners. Because here's the thing. If there's one thing that sports need, they need rivalries. Like, to me, I miss rivalries in football. I miss rivalries in sports. Everybody now is all buddy-buddy, like, oh, like this and that. Like, when I see a player lose a game, and then after the game, they're smiling or taking pics, like they're doing all like that, I'm telling you this right now, that shit pisses me off. I can't stand it. And I get it. It's like their mind, oh, it's just a job. But you're also getting paid a ridiculous amount of money to do your job, and I want you to be, passionate about your job. So, like, I think divisions should stay because there is that element of when you play somebody multiple times, you have that rivalry aspect to it. So honestly, for that reason, but I do agree with the idea of it should be like if you're the Panthers, I don't know if you should be allowed to host a home playoff game.
I think
that's where it's difficult.
I think there should be a rule that if you're not at least 500, you don't get to host a game. Like, you still make the playoffs, but the 5th seed, they get the home game over you.
I mean, again, there could be extra qualifiers into it. Like, I totally hear people in it. But, again, to me, I think rivalries need to be in sports. And, again, like, it's fun to me. Like, if we didn't, I don't know. I think rivalries are fun. So I'm going to say keep the divisions. Key of Cali 916. Shout out to you, man, if you're in Cali. And, again, you want to hang out with Chugs and I. Friday, February 6th. We're going to be in San Jose, California. If you want to pull up, make your reservations. This is going to be an awesome event. It's going to be packed with a bunch of Raiders fans. February 6th, it's a Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. I think that we'll probably end up being there a little bit longer. Fairway Zone Sports Bar and Lounge in San Jose, California. If you're a Raider fan, you got Raiders friends, show up, show out. Let's get rowdy. Michael, at this McDermott at this point, a full all-in at the moment. See, I'm not all in on McDermott. To me, again, like, he's a good coach. Want to be clear on that. Very, very good coach. But I don't think just because you're a good coach in one situation automatically makes you a good coach in another situation, right? Like, McDaniel's a great example of that. Pete Carroll's a great example of that. I look at the 2026 Las Vegas Raiders, and I really do not know if Sean McDermott is truly the best head coach for this current situation. I think because our last 2 picks were first-rounders, we're going to take another quarterback. Not another, but we're going to take a quarterback, number 1 overall. I do think it makes a lot of sense to draft an offensive-minded head coach to pair with that offense that you've already done a lot of investment in. I just think, like, too often people think, like, oh, because that guy was good, he's going to be good here. Situation is everything. Personality of team is everything. Ownership, it's just so different to me. I think McDermott, again, good coach. And maybe he gets another opportunity elsewhere. But I wouldn't put him in my top 3 for the Las Vegas Raiders based on our current situation right now. Based on our current situation right now, he's not top 3 to me. But he's a hell of a coach. Yoda Jenkins, fringe UDFA pick to our offseason. He's a kicker. By the way, can't wait for Madden Sims. And again, congrats to Alex. Yeah, Madden Sims are going to be legit, dude. Madden Sims, if you don't know, as soon as we get the schedule that comes out, which is going to be like a little bit after, it's like in the middle of May, somewhere like always around like May 15th, we start our Madden seasons. And the good part about the Madden seasons, the Raiders actually win. Raider Roman, Enrique, be nice to Chugs, or I will find you. Key of Cali, someone said DW and OC would be Kingsbury and DC would be Jim Leonard. I would be shocked if Jim Leonard was our defensive coordinator. Now, if we were to hire Davis Webb, then I think Davis Webb could be somebody that might be able to convince Jim Leonard to come on down. Kingsbury, I don't know who said that. I would be shocked if Kingsbury was our offensive coordinator, only because the people that I've talked to have told me very clear that Kingsbury just rubbed people the wrong way because they thought they had the handshake agreement. That's also on the Raiders for not knowing how to do business. But when you back out of an agreement, like, how can I trust you? Yeah, like, to me, like, if you're going to start a new team, which is what this team's doing, a new regime, it's got to, the number one foundation has to be trust. And when you don't trust your coaching staff from last year, I got to be able to trust guys this year. Kingsbury's a good coach, but I don't know if I can trust him. But if you were to hire Davis Webb, you could also look at Kingsbury again because of the overlap there at Texas Tech. He was quarterback with Mahomes. Kingsbury obviously was there at Texas Tech. Carlos, updated head coach predictions. So far, all have been right. You're right. We did a show last week. Technically, the only one that's not right, it's been Tennessee on Robert Saleh. But I would say right now, I'm just going to stick to the show that I did. If you didn't see the show that I did last week, it was like right after Harbaugh ended up getting hired. I talked to every single Chat Sports host, and I said, like, hey, like, where do you think they're going to go? Our Ravens guy said Jesse Minter.
Here we go.
Yeah, so this was our Ravens ex-head coach. This is what our that's not what we were talking about. But no, it is. Yeah, it is. So our Ravens guy said top three candidates would be Brian Flores, Jesse Minter, Robert Saleh. The prediction was Chargers, DC, Jesse Minter. Our Dolphins guy said the top candidate that he was going to go out and get was going to be Jeff Hafley of Green Bay. That one happened. Arizona, Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. So we'll see how that one goes. Browns, Jaguars OC Grant Yudinski. Maybe. I don't know. Atlanta, got that one right. Former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. Pittsburgh, Rams DC Chris Shula. So we'll see how that goes. And then so this was the Raiders one was I said top three candidates Minter, Saleh, Clint Kubiak. Jesse Minter technically to Baltimore, so I'll go Clint Kubiak. So again, like, my answer has always been, again, like, I think people got to understand the way that I do this show. If I get information, I relay it to you. And whether you think I have sources or not, I like to believe that I've been able to prove this year that, confidently, the Raiders report has broken more stories than all the Raiders beat reporters combined. And I'm not saying that as, like, puffing out my chest, but it's like, it is a literal fact. Not saying I've broken a lot of stories, but I've broken more than none. Grim, what about Bill Belichick? Grim, come on, man.
Why for yes, Inferno? Has Bill Belichick tarnished his legacy?
I think the definition of insanity is hiring Bill
Give me a why for yes, Inferno. Do you think Bill Belichick has tarnished his legacy as the best NFL head coach of all time?
I mean, I think you're crazy to say no. And the only reason why I say that is because he's got a losing record without Tom Brady. And really, he hasn't won anywhere without Tom Brady. Tom Brady leaves, wins a Super Bowl. Again, I'm not saying Bill's not an incredible coach. Bill's an incredible, incredible coach. But when I thought of Bill Belichick at New England, I thought of the greatest head coach of all time. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time anymore. Like, when you lose everywhere else, it's the whole, like, when you got great players, it's so good to be amazing. When you have the greatest quarterback of all time, you're going to win games. Bill's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's no doubt one of the greatest coaches of all time. But when Bill and Tom were together, I always said Bill's the greatest head coach of all time. When you have a losing record without him in every other spot that you've been a head coach and you go, it's not good. Like honestly, like, I'm kind of mad that Bill took that job at North Carolina because, Bill, like, you're dating a 24-year-old. Like, go live your life. Like, in my opinion, you got nothing else to prove. Like, you only have everything to lose. And, again, though, like, he's doing his thing, man. But to me, like, if you're the Raiders, why the hell would you bring in a coach that's older than Pete Carroll? Like, you're trying to rebuild with a guy that you're going to have to find another head coach. Like, the reason why I said Pete Carroll last year was the riskiest hire you can possibly do is because you've been an organization that's failed to find one head coach. When you bring in Pete, you essentially got to find 2 because he's 74 years old. So, no, man, it's craziness. Dylan, if we got Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall, and we got Clint Kubiak as head coach, would you get A.J. Brown to that point? If yes, would you trade for him? No, I have absolutely positively no interest in A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is all about me. Let him go to another team, and I'll say this. If he went to another team, he would be a lot more successful on another team. But the Raiders, to me, want to be a run-first offense. A.J. Brown has been pissed off all season long coming off of a Super Bowl win. No doubt he's a talented guy. No doubt Nick Sirianni probably rubs people the wrong way. But if you're the Raiders and you need a receiver, I need a guy that I know I can count on. I can't count on A.J. Brown. Can't count on. Kel, if the Raiders hire Kubiak, who do you like for D.C. now? So I said this earlier in the show that I had a name that was given to me in the last, it's been given to me recently. His name's Carl Scott. He's the Seattle Seahawks DB coach, but he also worked with Kubiak in Minnesota in 2021. So I would say right now, like the top DCs that would be interesting to me, Raheem Morris. Obviously, the Raiders are really interested in a lot of Rams guys. Morris is the definition of a DC, probably not a head coach. Rob Leonard is someone I'd love to be able to give an opportunity to. Probably a little bit more risky, though, if I'm being honest with you. Carl Scott, I think, is the dark horse. I don't even know if it's dark horse. I think if they hire Kubiak, Carl Scott's going to be a name to, watch out for.
Anthony Weaver.
Anthony Weaver's the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator. But obviously now with Jeff Hafley, he's going to call plays there. There was some wonder if he could go to Baltimore. If you're the Raiders, you should absolutely look at Weaver. Absolutely look at him. What up, Josh? Is it worth asking Coach Kurt to see if he wants to move to the NFL and coach his boy in the big leagues?
The best thing about this, Josh, we made a video about it.
So I would look up Kurt Signetti, Raiders Report on YouTube. But to give you your quick answer, there's no chance in hell Kurt's going to leave Indiana. But if you're the Raiders, I say you should try to interview him. And when I say interview, I literally mean take him out to dinner. If you're Las Vegas and you plan on drafting Fernando Mendoza, I'm taking Mike Shanahan out to eat. I'm taking Kurt Signetti out to eat. And I'm just trying to ask him this. How did you get the best version of Fernando Mendoza? What does he do? Because to me, Mendoza's the type of guy where, again, he literally came out and said, I don't have a girlfriend because I don't have time. My focus is only on football. What does Mendoza do? I need to know everything about Mendoza if I'm going to take him number 1 overall. Simple as that. But he ain't. I'd make the argument the Indiana job's better than the Raiders job. John, Mitch, Price is a legit punt returner and kick returner. I know, but
Notre Dame running back.
Yeah, but we don't need a running back in round 2. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying that, but the only way I want him for punt return or kick return, does he also play defensive end? Does he also play defensive line? Where's he going to play on defense? Because we don't need a running back in the second round. He could be just, we have too many other holes to fill to draft a running back. We have too many holes to draft a running back in the first 5 rounds of this draft, in my opinion. Elijah, Mitchum at work. What did I miss? The Baltimore Ravens, they've just hired Jesse Minter to be their next head coach. So, pretty interesting. Carlos, Clint Kubiak as head coach, Davis Webb as OC, Raheem Morris as DC, or keep Graham, let him do what he was doing before Carroll. I'll be honest, man. I really don't think Patrick Graham wants to return to the Raiders. And I think for PG, you got to understand, for PG, he's been around all this different turnover. And with all the different turnover, I think it's impacting him as a coach, and it's impacting his name because he's constantly having to deal with different regimes, different players, different styles. And he was not happy when Pete did certain things this past year. And I think sometimes there comes a situation, just like, my parents are divorced. I love my mom. I love my dad to the end of the moon and back. They always did such an amazing job making sure that I knew that they were going to do everything in their power to make sure that I was going to be the best version of me. But sometimes, it's healthy to split. And in all honesty, I think it's a healthy split for Patrick Graham and for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jersey boy, hope the Lambs win. Get Kubiak in here ASAP. I hear you. I want Seattle to win. I don't want Devontae to get a ring. Jeff, give me both Kubiaks. My DC has to be someone Kubiak doesn't have to worry about. I prefer Matt Patricia for DC. Matt Patricia's a very interesting name.
Is he the
DC for Ohio State.
Ohio State? Yeah.
Which I'll tell you this right now, Jeff. If they hire Matt Patricia, the number one comment you're going to get,
Chip Kelly.
I don't want another Chip Kelly. It's 100% it. Drake, just ordered my Raiders Report shirt. Thank you, gents. If anybody else wants to get their hands on a Mendoza shirt, chatsports.com/Mendoza.
And also, we were told we're gonna start pinning. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna start pinning the T-shirt to our live show, so it should be on your dashboard right now on the live show, to where you can buy this Raiders Fernando Mendoza T-shirt.
Yeah, if you want to get it. Sorry, I was trying to crack my back. It's sizes
no,
extra small all the way up to 5XL. I have the black one. I wore it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I wore the Mendoza one the other day. I think they fit great. It's a different shirt material, which I'm really excited about. But it comes in white, comes in black. I want the Raiders to draft Mendoza. I think a lot of people want the Raiders to draft Mendoza. So because of that, chatsports.com/Mendoza. It's a shirt. It's under $30. Get your hands on it now. No, I mean, I agree. To me, it's Mendoza no matter what. Do we ship to Canada?
I think so.
I would imagine.
Yeah. I would say tentatively yes.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Enrique, I appreciate that, man. Sal, what's going on, dude? My realistic hope: Lamar quarterback, Webb head coach, Kingsbury OC, Leonard DC. I mean, I'll say this right now. This is a really good coaching staff if you're looking for synergy. But I also think, Webb, Kingsbury, Leonard, they all have ties. Leonard's with Denver. Webb's with Denver. Kingsbury worked with Webb at their days at Texas Tech. So it's interesting. I'm not, again, if I get Lamar Jackson to be my quarterback, I'm not going to be mad about it. And I don't think y'all should be mad about it either, as much as I want Mendoza. Josh, who for OC and DC if Clint Kubiak is the head coach? I mean, I would look at Clay Kubiak's got to be a name to throw out there. I'll say Carl Scott might be my top two candidates. But are we able to get Nate Shieldhouse? If Mike LaFleur stays in, if he stays with the Rams, if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to get Nate Shieldhouse to be my OC. Sir Chai, ironically, Shador and Raiders are in the same boat.
I guarantee you so many more coaches want to go to the Raiders than the Browns because of Shador.
I guess I don't understand. How are they in the same boat?
He's saying that they both lost this year.
I mean, I think, again, to me, the Raiders' job is an intriguing job. I'm not Shador is an intriguing spot. What hurts the Browns right now is you either go with the quarterback that you paid all that money to, Deshaun Watson, who is, I don't think, a very good human being. And if you do that, you're going to piss people off because of Shador.
I mean, the Raiders are going on dates with head coaching candidates right now. The Browns, everybody's swiping left.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are a better situation than Shador. But again, the biggest issue with Shador is actually, I think, his fame and his power. Because there's so many fans. Browns fans want Shador to be the starter. And I think if you're a head coach candidate, that's just a headache. Because I think no matter what, you're going to piss a bunch of people off. Because I think they're going to go with Deshaun. Because that's what that organization paid for. Bills might hire Clint. They just requested an interview, especially having Josh Allen. Well, you can't request an interview. When you say just requested an interview, that can't happen. I don't know who told you that, because you can't request an interview with Clint Kubiak until January 26th. Maybe they did it before, last week or something like that. Especially having Josh Allen as your quarterback, who's your second option if that happens? I mean, the second option to me is Mike LaFleur or Davis Webb. And that's kind of what it sounds like right now for the Raiders as well. But I'll say this. I don't think Clint's in their top two. I really, truly believe that that's going to be an organization that if I'm the Buffalo Bills, okay, I'm going to ask Josh Allen. I am. I'm going to ask Josh Allen, who do you want to be the next head coach? I'm not saying it's what I'm going to do, but if you ask Josh Allen, who do you want to be the next head coach, Joe Brady, Brian Dable, or Clint Kubiak, I guarantee you Josh Allen don't say Clint Kubiak. Guarantee he goes with somebody that he's already worked with, that he's had a lot of experience with, that he's had a lot of success with. I think they're going to go Brady or Dable. Raider for life went head coach Kubiak, OC Carr. We got to stop the Carr stuff, guys. I mean, I know he's done a lot for us, but no.
I feel like people who are people who are like, oh, Derek Carr are the same people who are like,
John
15
Gruden.
15 years later be like, oh, well, I could probably still get with my high school ex.
Yeah, I love Derek. Derek's great, but quarterback coach is the
And-
absolute max.
And your high school ex is married with 3 kids.
Yeah, I think people that want Carr to be head coach, OC, it's you're living in a fantasy land. It's the same thing as like wanting Gruden. Why is Mendoza not declared for the draft? I think it's because he knows he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. When you know that you're going to be the number 1 overall pick, it'll happen. I don't know when. No idea. But, I mean, his brother transferred out of Indiana. TCU's quarterback just went to Indiana. Unless Mendoza's going somewhere else. But when you look at everything, Mendoza's looking at it like, I don't need to declare. When I want to declare, I'll declare. I do declare. Cody Cook, shout out to you, man, for pulling up here on the program. Friendly reminder, we got 19 minutes of happy hour left, and I'll say this. Only 1 beer down on happy hour. This might be the least banging we've done on a happy hour show, but it's all good. It's all good. The MVP of today's show, by the way, shout out to Bayou Raider. Bayou, I said I'd give you my game-worn Raiders Report hat. I've had this for a long, long time. You're gonna get it with the sweat stain, so hopefully that's okay. Just don't make a clone. If you want to participate in our Mendoza raffle, $5 one raffle, 20 for a wheel spin, 50 alley-oop, and you throw it down. Every time you hear me say bang, I will do a beer bong during happy hour, but only 18 minutes left of happy hour. As soon as that clock goes, we will do a jersey raffle for Fernando Mendoza, and then we will do the duck race. Yep. $20 Venmo. The last time that I checked, I think it was like a little bit over, I want to say it was like a little over $100 in. Winner right now would go home with $120. Let me refresh my phone. Winner's still going home with $120. If you want to get in, more people get in, the more money. I'll say this, and I keep saying this when I talk about Ruggs. I personally don't think Henry Ruggs should be allowed to play in the NFL again. That's my personal opinion. I'll leave it like that, and I'll just say this. If the Tinter family is okay with Ruggs playing in the NFL again, then who the hell am I to say that he never should play again? But if the Tinter family came out and said, no, I don't want him to play in the NFL again, I hope that the NFL doesn't allow him back in the NFL. Like, I get that, this guy's talented, but at the same time, man, like, when you take the life of somebody else, I think sometimes you just gotta put being a person above being talent. And I know what happened to Ruggs is terrible. I've heard actually Henry's an outstanding person, but when you make a mistake that big, I know that he served his time, but again, like, to me personally, like, he'll never be a Raider. Like, the Raiders would never bring him back. Maybe another NFL team would, but I honestly hope not, because I think a mistake that big is unforgivable in my book. Yvonne Holland, love you guys. Only trust Mitchell for real Raiders coaching news. Getting a bit nervous on coaching slots being filled, but keeping the faith in Kubiak. I'm not saying that other people don't do a good job keeping you updated, but I promise, like, the only way I'm talking about something is if it's actually being talked about. I'm not afraid to talk about rumors. I talk about rumors all the time on this show, but there's a difference between just throwing some shit out and seeing what sticks and compared to, like, I don't know, it's being reported that the Raiders might be interested in Lamar Jackson. I see that report and I think, yeah, man, I don't really think there's any way in hell the Raiders are going to go out and get Lamar. I don't think there's any way in hell this is going to happen. But then again, I've seen so many things that people have said never going to happen end up happening. Cowboys are never going to trade Micah Parsons. Raiders are never going to get Devontae Adams. Ends up happening. Wheel spin, 25 tickets. Let's go.
Shout out Yvonne.
James Jimenez, I agree with your statement 100%. And I think, like, again, him not spending his life in jail is him getting that second chance. But I'll be clear. If the Tinter family said, hey, I'm good with it, who the hell am I to say that he shouldn't be allowed? I will say if Ruggs does make it to the NFL again, I hope that he donates a large portion of his checks to the Tinter family. Sal, got a guy feeling Stidham is going to pull this off. I think people are really underestimating Stidham.
Jordan Schultz, just to double down on this, it does sound like the Raiders made a very strong push to get Minter over the last 24 hours. The Ravens recognized that, and they sped up their timeline.
Yeah, again, man, I knew the Raiders were all in on Minter. Yeah, I mean, so
it sounds like the Raiders really wanted Minter, and the Ravens came in with the full court press in the past 24 hours. Very interesting.
I mean, again, it's exactly what I was telling y'all. Schultz and I've talked to Schultz a bunch. Sorry, I think I got some of my yeah. And again, like, to me, I will always do my best here to keep you guys up to date on things that I hear. And I'm not saying every time I say something, it's 100% going to happen. But again, man, like, to me, there's nobody that works harder. And I don't give a shit what anybody says out there. There's a lot of really good Raiders content creators. There is nobody that's ever going to outwork me. And if you think that you're gonna, try, because that means Raider Nation's getting more content and better content. Esco, Mitch, other than Minter, which coach who has already been hired you wish the Raiders would have hired? Thank you for the great job. I mean, like, again, like,
Harbaugh.
who?
Harbaugh.
I wasn't high on Harbaugh. I didn't want Harbaugh.
Oh.
Well, not that I didn't want him, but again, like, to me, I'd rather Clint Kubiak than John Harbaugh. I'll say this, like, my top 2 coaching candidates are still out there. You go back and you look at my top Raiders head coach candidate video that I did. This is, again, during the season when Pete Carroll is still out there. My top 2 candidates were Clint Kubiak, number 1. Number 2 was Chris Shula. Number 3 was Minter. I mean, I would like Minter. I would have liked Saleh. Like, there's a lot of coaches that if the Raiders would have hired them, I would have sat up here and said, yeah, I like it. But my top 2 guys are still out there. So, I'm feeling good about where the Raiders are at. Carr be a quarterback coach to have him on the staff.
I mean, that would be the most capacity.
To me, like, that's the absolute max that you bring in Derek Carr.
And
oh, my
speaking of
God.
absolute mask,
Josh Viola! Bang! You're way too sober and haven't had enough beers. I just finished mine. Bang. Raiders! Shout out to Josh, man. We got 12 minutes left here for a little happy hour action. Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
That's 50 tickets.
50 tickets for my guy, Josh Viola.
There we go. PJ, worried Clint Kubiak is another Josh McDaniels. Has no one watched his interviews? No communication, no charisma, no gravitas, no leadership.
I'll fire back with this, PJ. I think the greatest interviewer I've ever seen at a podium, Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce said all the right things. He was great at screaming Raiders. He was great at being able to connect with the fans. He was rah-rah this, rah-rah that. Did a phenomenal job connecting with the team. He was clearly outmatched every single time. And I'm not trying to be this and that. You say no communication, no charisma, no
Gravitas.
I actually think the way that Clint Kubiak thinks, the way that Clint Kubiak acts, he's about that action, boss. He's about getting his shit done. He's about getting his job done. You know who that reminds me of? Brock Bowers. You know who that reminds me of? Ashton Genty. You know who that reminds me of? Fernando Mendoza. Like, I get that sometimes guys might not be this hoorah, this and that, but you can't deny that Kubiak's not a phenomenal X's and O's guy. And I get it. There is probably some concern out there for Josh McDaniels. But the other thing that we got to realize that's going to be different is when McDaniels came in, he called all the shots. This was my shots. I'm doing it. That's not going to happen. Brady and Spytek are going to be in charge, and that coach is going to coach. The coach isn't going to play GM the same way McDaniels did. And that's what rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with McDaniels in Denver and with the Raiders. It's my way or the highway. That's not how this regime is going to work. Tom Brady and John Spytek in particular was kept for a reason. And it's going to be a healthy marriage. which the Raiders haven't done in such a long time. Because the problem's always been Mark trying to save the team by going out and landing a whale with Gruden, called all the shots. McDaniel called all the shots. Pete called all the shots because they had the resume. They're going to go out and get a first-time head coach because they want it to make sense, like a healthy marriage. Robert. Synergy. Did we even make an offer to Minter or McDaniels?
From Jordan Schultz,
Minter, yes, we did.
Jordan Schultz just reported that the Raiders, over the past 24 hours, made a huge push for Jesse Minter, and that's why the Ravens hired him today, because they were basically moving up all their interviews to try to get Minter in the building as soon as possible.
I think you mean McDaniel. I don't know if they made an offer to him. I will say this. I heard a number of $7 million for Mike McDaniel.
For the OC.
For the OC job. So, again, like when they brought Mike McDaniel in on Monday, that was more of an OC job, but they said it was a head coaching job. I think it was more to satisfy the Rooney Rule. But the Raiders made a push for Minter. I mean, Minter was a guy that they really, really, really wanted. Baltimore just, I think, had the better destination. And you know, I said it on the show. Baltimore's the best job out there. And then the Bills job came. Because, realistically, with I think you mean limp O-line, Mendoza, Kubiak as head coach, what's your season goal? Your season goal should be to build that offensive line. But at this current moment, I would say my number one goal for the Raiders, if you draft Mendoza, is that at the end of that year, you look at your situation and you go, we made the right decision in Mendoza, and we're getting better as a football team. Like I think when you look at how bad this team has been, I'm hoping that we look at it and go, Bowers is a hell of a player, Genty's a hell of a player. You know, we're definitely moving in the right direction, because the problem with the Raiders is we've been moving backwards. Got to start getting the ball rolling. Like, I want to be somewhere around 8 wins. 7, 8, and I know it's like, that's still a losing record, but I am, man. I'm going to be hopeful for 7, 8 wins. Anything's possible. Lord Cameron Abbott. Bang!
It's fun to stay at the
LCA. Come on, Cameron. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Let's get it going. Cameron Abbott.
Yo, just got back from my trip and I don't watch while I drive. So what did I miss? Ravens just hired Jesse Minter as their next head coach, and the Ravens made a big push for him late. So
they made a big push for him late, which again, I'm not shocked at all, because I knew that the Ravens were going to be a team that was going to probably try to steal him away from the Raiders. It is what it is. And again, like, I don't blame Minter for taking that Ravens job. He worked there before. He's worked underneath Harbaugh since 2017. You know, like, I think that Baltimore made the most sense. It's a defensive-minded organization. It is. Like, they've always been a defensive-minded organization.
He said, also, shout out to my brother. When I got home, I have a new badass couch. It's a good brother. We both have our reservations for the 6th, driving 7 hours, but it's worth it. Hope Mount Raidermore will be there. And it's funny because Born a Raiders fan just said, y'all are coming to San Jose?
I'll stop by, say what's up. Why? Because we went live during Pete Carroll, and shout out to Lord Cameron Abbott, shout out to Raider Ron. To LCA and to all of Mount Raidermore, if you're watching, I am going to send you guys a message, because Chugs and I, we're going to try to set up like a little late lunch, early dinner before the event actually starts. And it's just going to be like a little get-together. LA Crash Dog, obviously, you know, you're invited to go to that as well. But we're going to do like a little get-together before the actual event. That way we can all show up together and kind of get it together. So LCA, just, I don't know where you're staying, if you're staying, how it's all going to go down. But I'm going to send a message to Mount Raidermore. We literally just booked our flights today. So we're still trying to like figure out a few like little logistic things. But to Mount Raidermore, and because LA Crash Dog's going to be helping us out with something, we're going to do a little dinner, lunch, pregame before the event, 7 to 10 at San Jose, California. I've never been there. Joseph, what are your favorite options for defensive coordinator? I'll keep saying Raheem Morris and Carl Scott right now are probably my top two. There's some other names to consider. I'll have to look at some other coaching connections between guys that we potentially hire. But like again, if you go out and get Davis Webb, Jim Leonard's going to be into that conversation. It just kind of depends on how it all ends up going down. Mitch, you're the shit. You are a phenom, and your info is legendary. Hope we get Kubiak. Richard, I appreciate that, man. Because when I first started doing this show, I feel like people kind of ripped on me because I was the rumors guy, the Chucky head guy, the Just Win babies, and I did. I talked a lot about rumors, but proudly, I've worked really hard. I've met a lot of really good people. I'm confident in a lot of the sources I have now, but I also don't throw things out there unless I do think that they're honestly truer information. Like if I say source or if I report something, it's because I've actually heard it. I think the Christian Wilkins story from earlier this summer is the number one proof of that. Also, though, at the exact same time, I'm going to talk about rumors because I think rumors are important, right? If you would have followed my shows the last two days, last 48 hours, we've been talking a lot about Jesse Minter going to Baltimore. Some rumors in there, which led to the news. Anthony, why is no one speaking about McDermott? I'd take him as head coach. I think people aren't speaking about him because the Raiders have been really looking at an offensive-minded guy. I think for the Raiders, it was either defensive mind Jesse Minter, offensive minded head coach. That's why I think they were doing that. I think the other thing there is the Raiders want to hire somebody. Not saying like they're doing this because I've said it, but I'm saying like I do think that they want to hire a head coach that wants to make their legacy with the Raiders. I want somebody that wants to make their legacy with the Raiders. Cueto, word is the first web interview went really well. It went exceptionally well. I think I've said that a few times on this show already. I actually heard the Kubiak interview went well, but I would say the number one interview that I've heard glowing reviews about has been Webb. I would say the first time I talked about the Webb interview going well, if I had to guess, probably he interviewed on Wednesday, January 7th, because he interviewed on my mom's birthday. So I would say the first time I started talking about the Webb interview doing really well was after that week, so whatever that Monday, Tuesday would have been. I mean, it went well. It did. It went well, but again, if you could talk the talk, can you back it up? I don't know. We'll see. So shout out to all of y'all. I believe we are all caught up on all the super chats as it stands right now. We got 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of happy hour. Now, we have 1,300 people here in the building. If you want to get in our Venmo duck race, it's a $20 Venmo. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. You can get in, you can join, and I would encourage people to do it because the more people that get in, the more money that we can give away. The last time that I checked, Bayou, I saw you. Simon TG, you're in. I see Drake Jungers, you're in. Roger Williams in. Darth Fatass, you in. $20 Venmo right now as it stands for a chance to win $160. What we're about to do is we're about to do this wheel spin here for a chance to win a Fernando Mendoza jersey.
Your last chance to get in, $5 super chat to get a spot on the wheel, or if you send in 100, that's 50 spots on the wheel. Josh, been following since before 100K. Love y'all guys. Appreciate that, Josh.
Is there anybody watching this show right now that's going to show up to the San Jose event? Because again, like I'm always like curious who's going to show up.
Give us a yes down below if you're at least thinking about showing up to the San Jose event. One more time, this is the information. Friday, February 6th, 7 to 10.
Darth said, hey, wait a minute here. Let me get some more tickets. Hey, let me get some more tickets here. Slurricane. All right, I got you. Mega Cooler says I'm thinking about it. Rebel, 6.9% chance. Gotcha. Drake, wish I could. I'll be there. I'm 35 minutes away from John. Rob says yes. Slurricane's going to hit me with a yes. Robert, I wish it's a day after my birthday. Shannon, yes. Shay, yes. Julian, hell yeah. What? That's a whole nother can of worms. You're I mean, on today's show, I don't even think it's a big offer.
This is for Darth Fatass.
The problem is we already owe that. Chugs and I, back when Kenyon Drake got signed, Chugs and I made a deal that we would Jello. We have the tub. We have all the Jello. We already have everything. If you want it, we have everything. Yeah.
Darth Fatass, 20 tickets.
It's a great question. Honestly, the main reason is James doesn't want to get everything dirty. So we've been waiting to try to find a spot, a space to do it. But
also, we were gonna do it, and then a family emergency happened.
Well, no, the family emergency happened because we were gonna do it in James's backyard. One of our guys came in here and said, basically, like, why is the Jello wrestling stuff there? Family emergency popped up, so then we couldn't do it. And then the one time we were also gonna do it, Jeremy effed up his wrist.
That did happen. Shout out to Mama Crosby.
Yeah, well, context there. We were at a party, and Jeremy punched, like, one of those, like, things to tell you how hard you punch. And he, like...
No,
he
it was
hit
actually a great hit.
He freaking killed it, but he also killed his wrist. Oh, hey.
An Aaron shoe guy.
Well, I mean, we have everything for the Jello wrestle. I mean, you'd have to ask James where the tub is and the Jello. I don't know if it expires, but we literally bought, like, halftime's too quick to do. It'd have to be. It's also going to get messy. Been subscribed since April 2019 from Fonzie. Dude, that's insanity. Insanity.
And Aaron said, listen to you guys every day at work. Props to the whole team for putting together some great content. Appreciate that, man.
Somebody just asked me how long or how much to stay live longer. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on dog dad duty. I also, Chugs and I got in here pretty early today, so the number I'm going to give you is a big number, okay? And I hope you're not upset with it. I hope that people don't get offended by that, but it's going to be a big number. If you want me to stay another hour, you know who you are. It's a $500 Venmo. And I'm just, again, but if we do it and somebody spends that hard-earned money, damn it, man, I hope that we actually do happy hour balls to the wall. So I'm just going to say it like that. Aaron Shoe Guy, listen to you guys every day. The fact that people listen to this show every single day blows my mind. Like, you know, again, like I can remember, and if you're a kid out there, you want to do this for a job, try. Like, I started making a podcast. I was in my attic, dude. Like, if you don't try, you'll never know. The number one tip I'd give to anybody, if you're going to do it, you better do it. Because if you think it's going to happen overnight, if you think like, oh, I made a few videos like for a few months, yeah, I don't think people started honestly listening and reading my content until like after 3 years of me doing it. Like, I don't think. I'm telling you. Oh, gee, how early does Kubiak sign with us if Seattle loses? Sign Linderbaum. Raiders. If I'm Kubiak, I'm taking my time. Because I think Kubiak knows he's one of the top guys out there. So he's really, really, really going to be looking around. I would say if Seattle loses, I think Kubiak has a job by the end of the week.
Yeah.
By the end of the week.
All right.
But again, if you know you're the top guy. Like
the last person in, I got DM Rich. We've been live for over 3 hours. You've had 3 hours, so. Last person I got in is DM Rich. Let's spin this wheel and see who's getting a Mendoza jersey.
Here we go. Who's getting the Mendoza? Who's getting the Mendoza? Loyal says, where do you buy those nasty jelly beans? On Amazon. Lord Cameron Abbott. Cam, you said you and your buddy are driving? Right, Cam? Didn't you say you and your buddy are coming to the event?
I believe so.
Cam. Mitch, I remember the Spartan race play-by-play. That's insane. I used to do a show for the Spartan races. If you ever want to check it out, it was called, I don't even remember. Something wire, over the wire, under the wire, Spartan. It's on YouTube. Like, you know the Spartan races? I used to be like the host of Spartan races, which it would take me so many cuts to do it. because you had to get names perfect. Obviously, I'm not great with names. And it was like the international series as well. So, dude, like we would get 40 seconds into a script, and then you'd see a name, and you're like, oh, my God. Wild.
Gee, Rich, you should go on tour. Maybe
Man.
one day.
Maybe one day. Now, honestly, man, I like to be able to think to myself in the next 5 years that me, Chugs, whoever, we're going to be able to bounce around from city to city a little bit more. Because if I used all the money that the Raiders Report generates and only on the Raiders Report, I would absolutely be able to do it. But again, my number one pledge to this is I want other people to be able to live their dream because I live mine every day and I love being able to do this. So when you look around, you've seen Chat Sports grow firsthand. I can say I've helped create probably over 40 full-time
Hell
jobs.
Yeah. LCA said that's his first time winning a wheel.
Hell yeah, LCA.
Wrong way. No Lamar yet. I don't think Lamar's going anywhere. And then Marcus says, Canadian Raider fan here, Mendoza and Kubiak, this is the way.
Mendoza, Jay-Z. LCA, if you could, either just put it in our Mount Raidermore group chat, or if you don't mind, just commenting down below what size you need on that. That would be much obliged.
Raider for life. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
Raider for life. Shout out to you, my dog.
All right. I'm going to input all the names for the duck race.
Come to Iowa. It's going to be -40. I'll tell you this. You're not selling it. -40 it's way too cold. I grew up in the East, but that's different level. All right, hang on. I got LCA in the duck race. Rustin Long in the duck race. Reminder, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 if you want to get in the duck race. Right now, winner would go home with $180 here on the program. Venthrak, Chugs, my guy. Welcome back.
Hassan.
Welcome back. Marcus, Canadian Raider here, Mendoza, and Kubiak. I'm on board. Josh Viola, back-to-back Canadians. Been following since before 100K subs. Again, man, that's wild. Like, what I think is really cool about doing this for a living is not only do you guys, like, watch the show, like the Raiders Report, but, a lot of y'all have literally, like, seen me grow up. I mean, I started doing the show when I was 24, 25 years old. So to be able to, like, you guys have seen me grow. Like, you guys have seen me go through dating. You guys have seen me marry my wife. You've seen the company grow. You've seen me grow. I mean, that's why I'm so excited for the San Jose event, because I really don't think people realize, like, I'm a lot of times just as excited to meet a lot of y'all as y'all are excited to meet me and Chugs. We talk to you guys. I mean, shit, Venthrak, I probably talk to you more than I talk to my wife.
Dude, seeing Trivan's handlebar for the first time.
Oh, is elite.
I'll never forget it.
Being able to see Zalesbo. Who came up to us and they were like, it's me. I forget who it was. And they were like, it's me, and they said like their name, but their like picture wasn't actually them. I don't remember who it was. I can't think of it. Antonio, is there any other team that can take Kubiak? I mean, yeah. I mean, money talks. Money always talks. I don't think he goes to Buffalo. I don't really think he goes to the Cardinals. I mean, in interdivision, Arizona, I think, would have to pay him a lot of money. But, like, to me, you got to look at the offense. If I'm an offensive-minded head coach, the only way I'm leaving is if I can go be a part of an offense that I believe in. Like, to me, if Clint Kubiak believes in Fernando Mendoza, he's going to take the job. If he doesn't believe in Fernando Mendoza, I don't think he's going to take the job.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
There's just so many crazy rumors flying around the Steelers. According to Baldy, a.k.a. Brian Baldinger, the Steelers are reportedly very interested in Miami head coach Mario Cristobal.
That's wild. That would be out of left field for them. I mean, that would be out of left field for them. No doubt about it.
Baldy says, not out here trying to play reporter or doing anything of that nonsense, but I hear the Steelers are very interested in Mario Cristobal, the coach at the University of Miami. I think Cristobal actually would really translate to the NFL. I watched his practice in the spring. The way that Mario coached the team reminded me of what an old school coach used to do.
Okay? I mean, that Pittsburgh job is going to be the one that's really interesting to me. That sounds like that might be the one that throw a little bit of a monkey in this wrench. We'll see.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry.
Scott Sterling! Dude, that show is hilarious. That came on my TV the other day, and it was just like, the legend! Ventrac. When the Raiders hired Sean McVay, shout out to Mr. J. Rizzle, it was considered by many to be a year too early, but they knew if they didn't get him then, he wouldn't be around the next year. That's why you go get Davis Webb. You know, to me, I'm going to watch Davis Webb in this offense this week. Let's see what they look like with Jarrett Stidham, because I personally think that this organization, Denver, has done a phenomenal job with Bo Nix. Like, I think when you really watch Bo Nix, you see that he's really not all that great. But he is in a perfect system that's built perfectly around him, and they have him execute that playbook. Like, that's what you want for a rookie quarterback, a system that is built so perfectly around him that it helps him develop into the best version he can be. Like, I think Bo Nix is going to slowly turn into an Alex Smith type of quarterback where you're like, all right, this guy's really good. I can win some games with him. And that's what Bo's turning into. Got to be able to give him credit.
Final check.
Final check. I don't see anybody else. So, after this duck race, we're going to get GTFO. Here we go. Winner of this race going to go home with, as it stands right now, $180 here on the Raiders Report. Reminder, if you want to extend this shit show, the only way I'm doing it, and I mean it, if somebody does it, y'all better pull up and y'all better be ready to get wet and wild. But I said it before, $500 Venmo. It's the only way I'm staying another hour. It's the only way. It's the only way. With all due respect, it's my 6th straight day. We've been going live. We've been making a lot of content. I'm not saying, again, it's my job. I love my job. But also, I can't wait to go home, hang out with my guy Chuck. Also, at the same time, I've kept my team here a lot of late nights recently. But also at the same time, if you guys are down to party, you already know it. I'm always down for a good time. Gabriel Ruiz! Come on, Drake! Drake! From the back! Drake! From the back! Let's go, Drake. Let's go, Drake! Oh, shit, I almost sent the wrong amount. What a win. Drake, if you could, please confirm that you just received 180 doll hairs. You want to hear something wild?
Yep.
That's Drake's first race.
Really?
I mean, unless you got a new Venmo, Drake, I don't know, but I believe that's Drake's first race, and he just won it. Wild one. Now, wild. Oh, my God. The Weldinator! Bang! Raiders! Weldinator, am I going to see you in San Jose? I better. Mitch, if Kubiak is hired, should we try to bring back Graham if he actually decided to stay, as well as Philbin as our O-line running game coordinator? Also, I think we should try to bring back John Jenkins and Butler to help out Max. I've talked to John multiple times during this season. He's a very, very nice guy. He really wanted to come back to the Raiders. He's been super, super nice to me. He always actually comments on my stuff. And he's very happy that he was in Baltimore. I want to be clear on that. But he is getting up there in age. I mean, Adam Butler is already on our team. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Jenkins would be interesting to me. The only reason why I'm probably going to say no on John Jenkins is because, to me, I would rather the Raiders bring back a guy like Thomas Booker, because you traded away Ja'Cory and Bennett. So, like, in my mind, like, that's that investment already that you were able to figure out a way and bring back. I want to spend a little bit more on a bigger guy in the middle on that interior, but I do think Jenkins would be a phenomenal person to help the development of guys like Tonka Hemingway, J.J. Pegues, John Alalu. But to me, I'll keep saying it. I think Patrick Graham's a really good coach. But sometimes a split is best for both sides. And I just think a split is best for the Raiders, and I think a split is also best for Patrick Graham. So, in terms of Philbin, I think he did a good job the year before, and the Raiders had a much better offensive line. But, again, I think it's going to come down to who does Kubiak want, because you're hiring Kubiak to be your offensive mind. So if I'm Kubiak, I'm going, I want an offensive line coach that I believe fits what I have the best. And if you believe it's with Genti, Bowers, then you rock with it. But to me, new head coach to me means let's just bring in some new bodies. Drake got it, and it was the first race. Dude, what a win here on the program. Shout out to my guy Drake, and shout out to all of y'all. I am hopping off today. We've been live here for a little over 3 hours at this point. The breaking news was the Baltimore Ravens went out. They hired Jesse Minter to be their head coach. If you're one of the 1,000 people that are still pulled up here watching today's program, meet me in Chugs in San Jose, California. Friday, February 6th. Call to reserve your spot. There are limited spots, but again, I hope that everybody that shows up, everybody's going to be able to have a good time. It's a pretty big venue. It's indoor, outdoor, plenty of parking. Fairway Zone Sports, Bar and Lounge in San Jose, California. Very, very, very excited to be able to meet all of y'all. The next time I'm going to be live here on the show is going to be on Sunday. I'm going to be live for the AFC and the NFC championship game. It's going to be me and one of our guys. His name's Chip. Because the weather is going to be awful, Chugs he lives too far away, so I don't really think it's safe for him to drive in. I can walk, so I'm going to walk through the ice. It's going to be, I actually think it's kind of fun sometimes walking through the snow and the ice because it looks like not World War Z. What's the movie where the world ends, the snow? It's not important. It came out, I feel like, in 2012. It's like they're in New York or something like that. Not important, but Dallas essentially shuts down, so I'll be, somebody's like, is it 2012? I feel like that's day after tomorrow. What's that one? It's definitely that one, day after
Maybe
tomorrow.
the day after tomorrow.
Maybe it's the day after tomorrow. But seriously, y'all, Bayou Raider MVP on today's program. To all of y'all that always have a lot of fun. From me, from Chugs, from everybody up in this piece. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys Sunday. AFC NFC Championship game live here on the Raiders.